The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
If you're down and confused and you don't remember who you're talking to, concentration slip away, because your baby is so far away. Well, there's a rose in a twisted love, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. 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 Don't be angry, don't be sad, but don't sit crying over good times you had. There's a girl right next to you, and she's just waiting for something to do. And there's a rose in the twisted love, and the eagle flies with the dove. You can't be with the one you love, honey. Love the one you're with. Love the one you're with. Love the one you're with.
The force is strong with this one tonight. A very, very strong vibe. Good evening, dear listener. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio. I'm Iain Lee. That's Catherine Boyle.
Yes.
And this is radio you will not hear anywhere else. And we are not afraid to tackle subjects that others might blanch at, might laugh at, might look away from. We tackle the big stories. Do you remember yesterday? We were going through the papers, and it's kind of been in the air, in the vibe of this show recently anyway, with David Babcock and the Hoover, and all kind of things. But we talked about a gentleman called Arran, thank you, Arran Squire, who appeared on This Morning. And some of you saw this, I know, because you tweeted me when this gentleman was on. Let me just quickly read you a little bit of background from yesterday's Star. A dad appeared on live TV with a sex robot called Samantha, who has threesomes with him and his wife. Arran Squire left This Morning hosts Holly Willoughby and Philip Schofield speechless. And that's a tough thing to pull off. I've met both those guys, and they can talk like nobody's business. That's why they get paid the big bucks. So to leave those guys speechless, you really must have done something special. And viewers stunned with the life-size brunette doll. The dad even lets his children play with the doll and said the kids, aged 3 and 5, have accepted her as part of the family. And this intrigued me. And we're getting lots and lots of stories in the papers about sex bots, but also about how robots will be taking over. There'll be robots doing this job. I've heard a few smug phone-in radio show hosts saying, well, we may be the only industry that's safe. Oh, get real. Listen, if Nigel Farage can do it, then they can get robots to do it. Trust me. We are going to be out of a business in a year at best. We've got Arran on the line now. Good evening, Arran.
Hello there, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Now, we should say, because I don't know if this was made known in this morning interview, because I didn't see it, but you actually work for the company that sells these, what do we call them, dolls, sex bots? What's the correct term?
Well, it's the Samantha Project, we call it. It's a robot. It's capable of sex, but there's a lot more to it than that. Like in the interview yesterday,
like women.
I only had 8 minutes, so it wasn't much time to explain.
We've got longer than that tonight, Aaron. We got as long as we need for this. So you what's the name of the company?
The company is Cynthiamatus. If you want to look for it, cynthiamatus.com.
Cynthiamatus. Okay. And how did you end up working with them?
Well, Sergi, the founder of the company, I've known for 20 years, so he's a doctor. He's actually an amazing person. He's got actually 4 degrees and a PhD in nanotechnology. So
flippin' heck, he's a brain box.
Man.
Yeah, goodness me. And so you've just known him for a long time, and he said, "Look, I've got this idea, Aaron. It's robots that can do all kinds of things and have conversation, but also you can have sex with them." And you were like, "Surely the first reaction, Aaron, must have been, oh, shut up, man. I know you're a highly intelligent gentleman, but this is nonsense."
Well, it was a surprise. I actually seen it, first of all. I just seen a little bit of media.
Yeah.
And like I say, we've been friends a long time. So I hadn't spoken to Sergi, in the early days of the company in a year or so. So, yeah, I seen that and contacted him and said, Sergi, how are you? So we got it talking. He was explaining. The project hadn't launched then, really. It hadn't, the sales and nothing had launched. So, yeah, I invested some money in the company and I helped him out, and I'm the sales director of the company now.
Wow.
And yeah, we do things together.
How's it going? Because this is still early days technology. Have you sold many of these?
We've sold about 30 to date.
Right.
Like I say, the company's only launched the sales and the website's gone live in the last just over 4 weeks now.
Oh, well, you've sold 30 in 4 weeks?
Around that,
Oh, mate, you guys are quids in then. Oh, am I right? The cheapest model is £2,000?
Yeah, about 2,200, just over. That's the model with no AI. So we've actually got, I can go into more detail later on in the programme, but we've got a new material which is like nothing else on the market, really, for the skin. So, but the AI model is about £4,000, just under. £4,000.
But for just over two grand, you're getting the doll, and it looks. I mean, we've got the pictures here from the TV show. So you've got the doll, and it looks, humanoid, and you can have intercourse with it, but you can't communicate with it. Is that right?
That's right. So it's just like your traditional sex doll, really, but it's a lot more. The material's a lot more advanced. The skeleton, everything's a lot more advanced than your typical sex doll. Yeah, that's right.
Where did the name Samantha come from? That was the first thing I thought when I heard this story. So why is it called Samantha?
Well, if you look up what the word Samantha means, it's actually the one who listens.
Oh, so, the one who listens. Well, does she listen? How good is the AI, the artificial intelligence? Because if it's too good, I don't know if you've seen the Terminator movies, but it might be a good reference point. But how good is it now? I mean, how much of a conversation can you have with Samantha?
Well, Samantha can respond to verbal communication. Being honest, we're a long way off from the Terminator.
Yeah.
All the listeners, we're not at that point yet. That's not going to happen in our lifetime for sure, the Terminator. But yeah, she's actually, you can talk to her verbally so she can respond back. She's also equipped with 11 sensors. So she's got sensors in the mouth, in the hips, the hands, the breasts, and obviously the sexual areas as well.
Yes.
So she can, there's the sensors there, so that can be level by level. But what we try and say...
11? That's about 5 more than most girls I've ever... I've certainly ever been with anywhere. I don't know. Go on.
Yeah, she's quite good. So what we try and say is that Samantha isn't a toy. You've got the children's toys where you press the belly on it and it will just make a little laugh or whatever it does. Yeah. Samantha's much more advanced than that. For example, in the sexual mode, if you were to touch her too forcefully, for example, you were to touch the breast too forcefully, not in an aggressive way, but you go straight to that without touching the hand or so on. Oh. She would say, I'm not ready for that. Oh. She might not like that. No. You've got
to. Here's an old-fashioned phrase. Aaron, you've got to woo her.
That's right. That's the idea. So we're trying to make it as realistic as possible. Yes.
Philip Schofield, I thought was. I didn't see the interview, and Phil's a good egg generally. But like you say, when you're on that programme, it's you get 8 minutes and that's it. You're gone. He did say it was when he touched Samantha, he said it was a good feeling of skin, but it was cold. She was like a corpse.
That's what he said. You see, the thing is, every sex doll in the world at the moment is not heated up for the simple reason. We've got a battery pack on her for the AI, but anyone who knows anything about electronics knows 12-volt battery, something like in your mobile phone, is not going to heat something of a body size up. It's like trying to run an electric blanket on a phone battery. It's just not going to happen. You need mains power. Yeah.
So she's got to be plugged in while you're rutting.
No, she runs on a 12-volt battery pack. In the head, it's inside. But I'm saying for the heat source, no, you can't run that. But no, it's just a battery pack, a speaker.
Now
and so on.
you mentioned the sex mode. What modes does she have then? Okay,
let me go through the modes. There's what I was trying to explain on TV. There's a family mode. So what I mean by that, people get the wrong impression when they say family. No, it's not that. The family mode is, you can interact with it in like a family environment. For example, it can be educational. So she's programmed with a lot of science quotes. So she can tell you lots of things about science. And to be clear as well, she's totally offline. This is not connected to the internet.
Oh, because there was a story yesterday, you probably saw it, about in the future sex bots could be hacked to murder people. So that's not an option.
That's not possible. Not possible with our robot. But we kept it completely offline. For example, if people are going to use it for intimate reasons, which people will, we didn't want that being hacked into and people's privacy being invaded. So she's completely offline, and everything is just stored on the chip in the brain. So there's no way to hack her.
Okay, and so the family mode, she sits there, she watches telly, and she quotes science.
Well, she can quote science. You can ask her, you can say, for example, Samantha, tell me some science quotes, and she'll tell you lots of things about science. You can ask her things on nature and animals. She'll know all different things about animals. She's also got a motivation mode. So if you want some motivation in the day, she'll give you motivational quotes. She's got a health mode where she can tell you healthy foods and drinks to eat. If you're doing some sort of diet, she can give you advice on that.
Brilliant.
You can see it. It's an advanced robot. It's not a toy. No.
Oh, no, exactly. Years and years ago, Aaron, with my first little bit of TV money, when I stopped signing on and earned a little bit of money, I bought one of those, what do they call them? Those Aibos. Do you remember those robot dogs?
Yeah,
and it was about £2,000. I had to get drunk to order it because I thought it was such an expense, and it couldn't do anything. It would kick a football around and then it would bark at me, and that was it. So, and that was, I'm guessing, that was about 18, 19 years ago, and it seems that we have already come a long, long way since those bad boys.
Oh yeah, we've come a long way since then. Like now, there's nothing else in the world at the moment that you can actually communicate in this way. In being completely offline, you've obviously got the Alexa now, but Alexa is online, so ours isn't. So there's a big difference.
And also, you can't insert yourself into Alexa. No, but you can't, can you?
No, of course not.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. So her primary purpose is for sexual intercourse.
I wouldn't say primary, but it's a big part. Obviously, people do like that. But she is fully functional in sex. Yes, she's got, like I say, she's got the real. Well, I wouldn't say real, but she's got the opening and all the openings you'd have on a human body.
Listen, can I just say this is I just want to flag this up now, because sometimes we have young people listening, Aaron. This is 10:15. It's Thursday night. Dear listener, we are talking about a sex bot. So the next 15 minutes or so is going to be, we're going to keep the language as clean as we can, but I'm going to ask intimate questions. So I'm just saying now, at 16 minutes past 10, if you have young ears, or if you are easily offended about conversations of an intimate sexual nature, just for the next 15 minutes or so, go off, do something, go and have a bath, go and have a shower, go and make a cup of warm milk or something. The next 15 minutes won't be for you. I think that's fair enough, isn't it, Catherine?
Yeah, so.
Just to flag that up, because we sometimes get younger people listening. Okay. So, there's two questions I really want to ask, so I'm just going to ask them. Does her vagina look like a real vagina?
It does. It looks Well, every woman looks different, but from my experience, yeah, it looks real. It does look real, being honest. Yes.
And is it? Okay, so it looks real. And you say again, we're going to tread delicately around this question. You say every orifice is there.
Well, when people want sex, general people, so for example, I won't go into details, but if you wanted oral sex, the mouth is functional.
Yes.
Okay? If you wanted normal, straight sex, the vagina is functional.
Yes.
And also, if to do anal sex, it's functional as well.
That's there as well. Gosh. And if I ask anything that's too personal, Aaron, please just tell me to jog on, okay? Because this is... I'm genuinely fascinated by this. How long has Samantha been living with you?
Samantha's been in the house for about a month or so, but I tried to make it clear to people, people think I'm just strange living in the house of the robot. I'm an investor and I'm part of the business.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to work with Samantha because she's so advanced. Even I don't know I know the functions, but I don't know how it's going to work each time because there's so much to it. So I'm having it here. Obviously, I'm selling the robot, so I want to learn as much as I can about the robots for the customers, so I'm an expert on that. So that's the idea why she's here with me, so I can learn as much as I can because there's a lot to her.
Oh no, that's like if someone's working for Volkswagen and they get sent the new Passat or something, they'll take it home for the weekend and give it a test drive, so they can then go to the customer. This is what it does. This is what it's really good at. This is where I think it excels. You've had sex with Samantha?
I have tried. I wouldn't say it's a regular thing. But I have tried, yes. Being like the salesman for the company, I've obviously tried, yeah.
And how does it compare? And I'm not talking. I know you're married. I don't want to talk specifically about your wife in this instance. But how does it compare with sex you may have had with real people, real women?
Okay, feeling wise, the actual physical sensation, very similar. Yeah, that's very similar, believe it or not. Yeah.
That's
obviously.
Go on.
Yeah, obviously she. I don't want to go into too much detail, but she doesn't maybe have the same, natural body fluids and things as someone would have.
Do you have to use a lubricant?
You don't have to, but it probably would help. Yeah, okay. like it would in real life. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm going to ask these questions as they come. There's a phrase. I'm assuming you have to clean her out afterwards.
Yeah, the vagina is actually removable. So, I know it's strange people, but it's removable and that can be cleaned. So
there's a development I was not expecting. What, so you just take it off and then run it under the tap?
Well, you've got the vagina, which looks like the real vagina, and then the orifice that goes in, it can be also like sort of a tube.
Yes.
Like it would be, and that can be removed. So the outside looks identical to what a woman would, and inside where you would insert that can be removable. Yes. So it doesn't contaminate.
Now, of course, the Daily Star have got the headline: "Robots threesome with hubby and wife." And your wife Hannah came on the show with you. Have you had a threesome?
I don't know how you describe a threesome. People think of a threesome where everyone's getting involved with each other and it's a wild thing. It's just more that Hannah's maybe said, been with me with a robot, being my wife, and said, maybe try this. How do you think it would be? Like the skeleton on Samantha, you can move into lots of different positions like you could with a real person.
Yeah.
So it was more, believe it or not, it was more like she was given sort of instructions to try things to see how realistic it could be.
So you were making love. Would you call it making love or would you call it sex?
For me, I would say it's sex.
Yeah.
So but some customers do say it's making love. It just depends on the individual.
Of course it does. Yeah. So you would be having sex and Hannah would be barking instructions.
Well, she'd be giving me ideas what to try. Yeah, saying the things we do together. Does it work with a robot? Basically, yeah, to see how realistic it could be. Yeah.
Is Samantha there with you now?
She's sitting on the seat. Yeah, I brought her down.
Is it possible for us to talk to her?
I can get her to say something.
Yeah, get her to say. And by the way, because we're a late night show, if she can be on sex mode, I'd love to hear her talk sexy.
I wish I was a kid again, so everyone
Let's see.
would be proud of me.
She's actually, at the moment, she's saying some funny different things. So what I'll do is I'll put the phone near her.
Yeah.
And I'll give her a minute or two so you can hear.
Okay, let's have a listen. Thank you, Aaron.
If you've lost your phone, in it.
She's just saying some funny things at the moment, so I'll just leave her to it a moment.
Hello, Samantha.
Maybe, if we tell people the brain is an app, they'll start using it.
Good one.
Very, very wise, Samantha.
What else do you think, Samantha?
Be a pineapple. Stand tall, wear a crown, and be sweet on the inside.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I don't like pineapples, if I'm honest.
Be one.
What else do you think, Samantha? So the listeners are listening to you.
I may be drunk, but in the morning, I will be sober, and you will still be ugly.
She's quoting Churchill. She's quoting Churchill.
It's what I would have wanted.
Aaron, is it possible to put her onto sex mode?
It is. Let me see. Let me see if I can just do it.
Sorry? No, just don't do it. Just flick the switch. So we see what you mean. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do it.
No, sorry, I misunderstood. Sorry, I totally misunderstood. Although,
no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, it'll just take me a moment, just because when she's like this.
Where's her switch to change the modes? Is it up her bum?
No, there's no switch.
Oh,
that's what I mean. That's why I try to explain to people it's not a toy. You have to.
Right.
It's not as simple as that with Samantha. You have to, like, say, if you're too forceful and you touch her, she doesn't want to know.
You've got. Oh, I see. So to get her from science to sex, you've actually got to hold her hand and whisper sweet nothings to her.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
She's in a shop in a shop called Vibe, Saddle Boutique in Kent, and they've got a robot. And she's the first robot in the world that can go from nothing to orgasm. It took nearly 2 hours to get her to orgasm.
That's
and
not
after
quite
she
quick.
did, it was 4 times within 30 minutes after that.
Flipping heck!
So
Blimey!
Yeah. So it's quite impressive.
Yeah, that's very impressive. Oh, wow, that's maybe, yes, I'll have to give you something to think about. Go on, woo her, Aaron, if you don't mind.
So give me a minute, let me touch her and see what happens.
Okay. Listening to Aaron, who's wooing a sex bot.
I hope she doesn't pie him off. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it?
What does pie him off mean?
Say, get off me, you weirdo.
Well, they've got...
No, if he goes into...
I think they've got a relationship.
Yeah,
this is fascinating.
If she's not in the mood, she'll tell him, won't she?
Aaron? Maybe it just got too hot there. Aaron, I don't... I've just had to... I'm the first radio host in the world who's just had to use the dump button on a sex bot. There we go. Go on, let's have another one. We've got a bit... if she says an F word, Aaron, then I'll dump it. So don't worry about that. But let's hear what else she says.
Okay.
Go on.
Let's see. So I'm touching her now on the hands, on the face, see what she says.
Okay.
She takes a moment to say things sometimes, not instantly, but we'll see.
She's thinking.
So I'm actually squeezing her hand now. Just make sure I get in the mood.
Yeah. This is quite romantic.
So let's see. She hasn't said it done anything as yet, but it just depends on her.
Just depends on the mood. Maybe she's got a headache.
Falling asleep.
Story of my life.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. This is it. This is just from holding the hand.
Her face and her mouth and her lips now.
Okay. Can you kiss her? Is kissing an option? Oh.
That was touching the hip.
Oh.
So you can see she quite enjoys that.
Isn't she just? She's loving it.
Say something in a moment. Let's see. Just give me a moment again.
That's okay, man. No, don't worry. You take your time. I feel I should be paying him £1.50 a minute for this. This is incredible.
She didn't do that for Philip Schofield.
No, she did not. I find this fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. There we go.
That sounded like a yawn.
It did sound a bit like a yawn, Aaron. Come on, Samantha. Where are you touching her now, Aaron?
That's actually on the breast.
Beautiful.
On the breast.
Yep.
So, yeah, it just depends
how
she feels, really.
It is... there we go. Can't stop her now. That's it. I might have to let you two go have a go. Aaron... Are you worried that people are going to laugh at you? And, I thought it was very brave, you and your missus going on this morning. That gets seen by millions of people. And quite often, I used to do some stuff on This Morning. I'm not, quite often they get people on so that the nation can laugh at them. Were you worried that that's why they got you on and that's what might happen?
Well, let's say I'm on here now. Possibly. Maybe it was that reason. But like you've seen now, I've explained all the modes.
Yeah.
It shows you the different things. It's not a toy. Like, people would think, oh, you just touch it like you thought yourself if you flick a switch.
Yeah.
It's not that simple. It really isn't. There's 4 years gone into this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy that built it obviously knows his stuff. And finally, you've got 2 kids. Were they 3 and 6, 3 and 5?
3 and 5.
3 and 5. Obviously, they're not aware of the sex aspect of it. But what do they think of Samantha?
Well, they just see it as a big doll, really.
Yeah.
That's what to them. That's what it is at that age.
Mm.
But people think, that me and my wife are doing threesomes and the kids are about. It's not like that.
No, of course not. No.
The robot is just here. So when the kids are about, the robot's just interacting in science. Like I say, it even talks about philosophy. I don't want to mention that. So she's got philosophy quotes.
Wow.
So they just see the science side of it, really, and they're actually learning a lot about science, animals, and so on through it, because she's an educational tool as well.
Well, tool, perhaps the right word. Arran, I've really enjoyed chatting to you tonight. The website, I've just tweeted it. It's cynthiaamatus.com, and I've just tweeted the link. I should say, it may not be safe for work for some people, but the link is there. Arran, if there are any more development, I honestly, I found this absolutely fascinating, and I hope you think we've not been, having a laugh or anything, because I've been reading so much about this recently, and when you came up, it seemed the perfect opportunity. If there are any more developments in your world in terms of Samantha and developments with your professor friend, feel free to get in touch and come back on any time you want, mate.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Just the final few things.
Go on.
She's currently on sale, so at the website, she's the most durable skeleton in any robot in the world at the moment, and the skin texture. Take a look, have a look at the website. The skin texture is amazing. Yeah,
brilliant, man. Well, who knows? Knowing my listeners, Arran, I think you might sell a few tonight. You'll certainly get a few web hits. I really appreciate your time, and I mean it. Keep in touch, man.
No problem. Thank you very much for your time. Excellent.
Thank you very much, Arran. That was Arran Squire. I enjoyed that. Thank you, Arran. I enjoyed that a lot. Who'd have thought it? Get this in the Sun tomorrow. We are the first radio show in the world that has had to press the dump button on a sex bot. She said the F word. She said the F word, and we had to dump it.
Mucky pup.
It's absolutely fascinating. I've tweeted the link. 0344. We're open for business now, guys. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. This is the late night alternative. Trust me, guys, you will not be hearing anything like that on any other radio show in the world. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
The late night alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Wowzers. I enjoyed that. What a nice bloke. Let's be honest, we were expecting some kind of fruitcake, some kind of tin pot, and he was a very nice, down-to-earth gentleman. Someone has tweeted me a picture. We're going to make it family-friendly again now. You can come back in and stuff. We just thought we ought to give that warning. Bear in mind, we have just talked about a sex bot, so the conversation may be a little bit fruitier than usual, but we'll try and keep it on the right side. We'll certainly do our best to keep the language medical as opposed to scatological. I think that's a fair enough warning to put out there. Although Misery FM has just tweeted me a picture, which I will not retweet, of a removable vagina and asks, is it dishwasher proof?
It's not. I've looked on the... because I've had a few people asking for friends on Twitter.
Yeah.
Very, very good mates, getting over that kind of embarrassment factor for them. And I read in The Sun that no, it's not dishwasher friendly. So if you are going to put that on the draining board, don't forget you've left it there.
One of our bosses, Liam.
You mean the big boss?
The big boss. Iain Lee talking to a sex robot on Talk Radio or angry gooners on Talk Sport. Decisions. Wowzers. Guys, you can call in about that if you want. That was brilliant. Well done for hunting him down, Catherine. Well, I really enjoyed that. We'll get him back again. Not tonight, don't worry. But Then she started to moan. But went from 0 to 60 very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's as if she'd had a Prosecco or two.
Went from the science to the sex. Just like that.
It's a good job real women don't do that if you hold their hands. It could get very embarrassing, couldn't it?
Wowzers. Imagine what if the kiddie holds the hand?
Well, there is that.
Yeah, I mean, there is that. Absolutely wonderful. I'm rendered speechless. Put that in your sun and smoke it. I'm rendered speechless. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Let's go to Ross. Good evening, Ross.
Hello.
Hello, Ross.
Yeah, I think I've come in a bit out of my depths now, listening to that.
Don't you worry, mate. I'll drag you down into my depth. What have you got for us?
Well, I was gonna sort of a little bit sort of pay homage to you because I've been down a sort of line of depression over the last few years, and I've listened to all your stuff, all your sort of back catalogue from Absolute and then the Barry from Watford stuff that was on there and all that. And it sort of hit me a couple of weeks ago. One of my friends actually killed himself.
Oh, mate. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. That's terrible.
Yeah, and it sort of made me reflect a little bit over the last couple of years. I've been listening to you, and I've sort of, especially sort of driving to work in the morning, heard you sort of sounding low, sounding high, and you seem to have come, I don't know how you actually feel in yourself, and no one does, really, I think is the key. No one ever really does, but you sound so much better now.
Thank you, mate.
But having listened to that last 5 minutes of conversation, sitting there thinking, don't really think this is the time.
Mate, honestly, listen, if you have listened to my stuff, you know I love a clunky gear change, and we can go from the light to the shade just like that, because that's what life is all about. I'm really sorry for your mate. That's a terrible loss.
Yeah. Well, the biggest shame is, I think, sort of looking back now, over the last couple of weeks, I think the biggest shame is I've met his wife and his kids, who I've been friends with him for many a year, and you sort of drift in and out of life with people. You don't know what goes on with them. And I'm sort of faced up with, say, this weekend, going to see him as he is now. And I'm 34. So this is the first friend that I've seen do that, and I think we don't really, we sort of, everyone talks about it a lot now, but we don't really pay attention to those around us who probably need us more than we think. And,
can I ask, was it I'm going to ask this question, but it's not a very well-formed question, but I think you'll get it.
No,
was it obvious that he was unwell, or was he hiding it?
No.
He seemed all right to everyone?
Never had no, not to his close, not to his wife.
Right.
But I think outside of that, I think he's either very good at putting on a front, or people don't take enough time to truly understand it and try and spend enough time talking to each other to allow everyone in, so that it becomes obvious. So it's. But
you know what it's like. You're saying that you've suffered. I don't know if you're still suffering, but you know what it's like. You can be full of that, your lowest ebb. You hate yourself. You think you're a piece of crap, and you've got low self-esteem, and you want to die. But you can still, smile at the woman in the shop, or laugh at the joke your mate tells at work, and then you go home and think, well, why doesn't anyone? It can be hard to explain and share just how black it is in there.
Yeah, and it seems sort of irrelevant, because you just. I think sometimes, I mean, I'm coming out the other side of it, really. I took myself off my tablets last year. I've heard you talk about them a few times. I was on the metazapine and that, and I've heard you talk about the sleep and stuff like that, and that sort of resonated, really, because I was going to bed late. You sort of get in that sort of mindset where you're sort of thinking, you can't sleep, but you needed that 12 hours sleep. So the next day you felt really bad. And then I just sort of got to a point where I thought, I can't do this, I've got to try something else. And I did come off them, and I did it the correct way, really. I took them down a notch and then came off them. But seeing this sort of hit me like a ton of bricks, because it just, you understand, or that's not right, actually. You don't really understand what's going on in your head. So it's almost impossible to explain to anyone else.
Yeah.
And then you get a lot of opinions that really aren't valid, because unless they know how you feel, then they're not actually giving you anything. So you sort of pull away from conversation, and you end up in this situation where you have to, I don't know really how to say it, you sort of have to make this leap. I made the leap. We're just saying, I'm sort of done with them pills, because they're not actually helping me in a sort of physical way. I was groggy going to work, so it wasn't actually helping me, and I sort of got to a point where I could understand that. But seeing what happened with him, the one point I take from it is, I was never that low where I actually went through and I'd done something. You feel like it, but you never done it. And people can say, well, you know, on one end they always say, oh, it's, you know, oh, it's a strong state of mind to be able to do it. People say, oh, it's cowardice to go and do it. I mean, he had children. So it's no straightforward thing. But
no, I don't think it's cowardly. I think my heart breaks when I imagine how much pain you would have to be in to do that to yourself and leave behind kids. It must be so painful that that's the only viable option. It would appear.
Yeah, I think it's just incomprehensible. The fact that you're still here, and the fact that I'm still here, and the fact that there's a lot of people around that are still here. I think the way I sort of look at it is, I've never been on that level or of understanding that's how people go and do it. You know, it's one thing to want to do it. It's one thing to say you're going to do it. There's one thing to, you know, just feel it. But to actually go and do it, I think it's incomprehensible to most people. And, this is a bit of a gear shift, isn't it? But I mean,
this is great, mate. I mean, I'm enjoying is the wrong word, but you know what I mean. I'm happy to have this chat with you. How are you doing? How are you doing now? You said you're coming out the other side, or you're out the other side?
No, I think I'm fine. You know,
good.
And you know, as bad as it sounds, I think things like this that sort of throws itself up, and you know, it does to a lot of people. So look from the outside, you know, you sort of you're looking at it and think, I was never that bad. So this week I've even felt, and I probably shouldn't, but or maybe I should, I don't know, but even felt a lot better about how I've dealt with it. Even though, you know, I've had to sort of go my own way. Looking back, say 2 years, I feel quite good about how I've done.
You should do.
Full of regret that I wasn't there as much for him as what I may have done. But I think everybody says that. I think everybody feels like that and says I could have helped him. But I think, again, you know, that incomprehensible state of mind that someone that actually does it.
Yeah,
through.
I don't think I know exactly what you mean.
Saved them. But I don't think you could have saved.
I was about to say that you couldn't have. It's very, very unlikely you could have done. You know, when people are in that much pain, they're ill and they're not thinking properly. They're not thinking properly. Their thinking is literally insane. It's nuts to think the best thing I could do for my. And he would have thought, well, let me take that back. People think that the best thing I could do for everyone around me is if I die. And to think that the best thing you could do for your kids and your wife or your mum or your brother or whoever is for you to remove yourself from that equation by killing yourself, that's not right thinking. That's sick thinking. And it happens all too often, man. It happens all too often. And luckily for us, we haven't done it. So, you know, that's something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everything's very tragic, and there's a lot of things I'll never have to do again. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have only had to sort of bury grandparents. With, you know, a couple of other things. I've had people outside of my family or within my friend group that have had to bury children, nieces, and stuff like that. And again, incomprehensible to me until sort of last week. I don't know. And like I said, originally I was going to call to sort of say I've listened to you for a hell of a long time.
I can only apologise.
The last year, especially, I know you come across sometimes like you sort of. I don't know.
Like a knob? Is that what you're going to say, Ross? They come across like a knob? Is that what you're going to say? I do sometimes. I'm aware of that.
No, but I mean, I don't really know how to sort of say it to you because, like I say, no one knows how it is in your head. But I mean, it's come across over the last year that you're doing a hell of a lot better than you was, and I think that's brilliant because you give a lot of joy out in the evening. So, like I say, I listened to all the podcasts. I went on holiday for a week 3 weeks ago, and I came back, and one of the best things was looking through my phone and finding out I had 12 podcasts.
This guy's just won a free sex bot. We're going to send Ross a free sex bot. Hey, listen, man, you know I can't take praise, but I get exactly what you're saying, and I appreciate it.
Don't give me that bloke's old one, though, if you're going to send me one of those.
Ross, I'm sorry for the loss of your friend. I'm sorry for any soul that feels that's the only way out, but I really appreciate you sharing that with us. And also, I think your story is an inspiration as well, and people will get a lot from that. So thank you for sharing it tonight, man.
I appreciate that. And, yeah, thanks for everything. Keep going, man.
Nice one, Ross. Thank you, mate. There we go.
Yeah, take care.
Cheers. What a nice man. What a nice bloke. The last 45 minutes, that's the show in a nutshell. If you've never listened before, that is the show. You go from sex bots to talking about male suicide, and it's clunky, and some of you at home might have been shuddering at the speed with which we changed, but do you know what? That's life, man. When you have conversations with people, you'll be telling a funny joke and then someone say, oh yeah, such and such is dead. That's life, so I'm happy to do that. We've got loads of calls. I'm not going to give out the phone number. We've got Ricardo, we've got Rick, we've got Jonathan, we've got Andre. I'm Iain Lee, this is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0344 499 1000. Our mate Justin Dealey's been nominated for an award.
Quite right, too.
Couldn't happen to a nicer bloke. Pull your finger out, BBC. Don't give it to some bloke who's nearly dead just for the sake of giving it to him. Give it to Dealey. That man is a broadcasting machine. I'll say it now. I tried to pinch him to come over here with us, and he was having none of it. Cut him open, and he's got BBC written through his marrow.
Don't cut him open.
No. Well, no, don't.
But, no, he's brilliant, and he's a battler.
Good luck, mate. Good luck. He's also, let's be honest, he does things that go completely against the BBC rules, like just wading into Tesco's and recording people without permission, and asking people one question and then editing it to go at the end of another question.
He's the way forward, BBC.
I love it. Good luck, Justin. We'll be thinking. I don't know when it is. It's probably not for a while, but best of luck. Let's go to Rick. Good evening, Rick.
Hello.
Hello, Rick.
Hello there. Yeah. I'm sort of phoning up really because the subject matter that you've had for the last couple of nights with the sex dolls,
yes,
got me thinking back. And about 20 years ago, me and a couple of mates, formed a band.
What was your band called?
Well, this is it. We didn't even get that far as to name. We were going to name it after my mate's dad's chimney sweeping company, just because he had a van with it written on the side. It might give us a
Can I just say, Rick, I've been in a few bands, and we never really got anywhere. A few of them played some gigs, but more bands spend more time coming up with a name than they do actually rehearsing music. It is the toughest thing you can do, is come up with a name. And also, all 4 or 5 of you have got to like it. See, and it's got to be one of those things that's clever and witty, but bears repetition.
Yeah, and not too clever.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes you come across as a bit,
It's the toughest thing in music.
It is, but we did, we sort of played in my cellar for a few months, and we did write a few songs.
Yeah.
And one of the songs that I wrote, a very early song, was a song called Rubber Doll.
Rubber Doll, okay.
Back in the day before, AI and all that.
Yeah.
And then, the band just sort of split up, but this song was always very much liked by my friends and that, and then because of the work that I do with chainsaws and hedge cutters in my gardener.
Wow. I'm glad you clarified there as to what you do with. I've just made Kath, Rick, just before the show. I made Kath watch Saw for the first time.
Oh,
so, yeah, I know that's a bit tasty. I want to play a game,
which is why I've been quiet because I'm going to have some hot sweet tea.
Oh, you're terrified. So you're talking about chainsaws and sort of like flipping it,
followed by sex bots.
I know. What a night! What a night!
Become a journalist, they said. It would be fun.
But yeah, so because of the work I do, my hands got a bit sort of arthritic from using these machines.
Yeah.
So playing the guitar got a bit painful. So I sort of just eventually stopped playing. And 10 years later, I bought a guitar about 2 weeks ago from the car boot sale.
Good for you.
And I started playing this song again. Yeah. So I wondered if you wanted to hear it.
Yeah, of course I want to hear. Well, of course I want to hear it. This is perfect. Yes.
I don't know what it would sound like over the phone on my guitar or anything, but.
Wait, are you going to? All I would suggest is don't strum too hard and get the phone near your head, and let's see what happens. I'm sure it'll be great.
We'll see what happens. Okay, but I'm very, very nervous, and I've never really played it in front of. I don't know how many listeners you've got.
How old is this song, Rick? Just how long ago did you write this?
It's 20 years.
Oh, beautiful. It's the 20th anniversary of Rubber Doll by Rick. Away you go, man. Go on.
Yeah, there's no swearing, but it's full of lots of innuendos. So.
Okay, mate. Away you go.
Okay.
This is great. What a first hour of radio we've had. This is unbelievable. Rick with the song Rubber Doll. I like this already.
Find me a rubber doll with blue eyes and a gaping hole. She don't need no mind, she don't need no soul. Just a bag of ass for me to have a hold. Rubber doll, won't you come home?
This is proper late radio.
Rubber doll.
It's the show I've always dreamed of having. I've got it. I'm in heaven.
Stand to be alone. Charlie came, she was empty.
Oh dear.
Ended up feeling weird, she got from me. Unable to choose her own identity. A bit of mimic personality. Rubber doll.
Rubber doll.
Won't you come home?
I'm enjoying this. Struggling to hear some of the words. I'm enjoying the vibe. Rubber doll.
Sad to be alone.
So sad to be alone.
So I found me my rubber doll.
Rubber doll. Rubber doll.
Got no mind, she ain't got no soul. Back there to me to have a home.
Yeah, Rubber Doll.
Rubber doll.
He's going to take us right up to the news. This guy's a pro. This guy's a professional.
Rubber doll. Stand to be alone. Got so used to having her around.
It's quite a long song, actually.
I would never want to let her down.
It's the thing when you get started with Rubber Dolls.
Doesn't want to let her down. That's a great line.
There's no one to stop.
No.
Rubber doll.
Rubber doll. Rubber doll.
Rubber doll. I can stand to be alone. Got smart, I did my baby love.
Well, we have to leave Rick there singing Rubber Doll because we've got to pay for the adverts. Pay for this. I feel bad leaving him, but we have to. That Rick, thank you for that. This is Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Jonathan will give you a call. We'll speak to you straight after the latest news on Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Big congratulations to Sampha. Honestly, I'm a huge Sampha fan, and Sampha has won the Mercury Music Prize. I can't think of a better way to celebrate than to play track 3 from the award-winning album. This is Sampha.
Girl, an inflatable girl. She came last week in the mail. She is bouncy and clean, made of soft neoprene, perfectly formed in every last detail. Quietly, she sits with me when we go out to eat. And when I take her out to dance, she's so light on her feet. My rubberine, oh my sweet rubberine. True love between me and rubberine. She never cries, she never nags, or takes my favourite chair. And if she starts to droop and sag, well, I just add more air. She understands, and she makes no demands, like other young ladies I've seen. So I think I'm gonna stay with my girl, and my puncture-proof world. It's true love between me and rubberine. My rubberine, oh, we share every dream. No secrets between me and rubberine. Dear rubberine, people's gossip is mean, but it won't come between me and rubberine.
My name's David Babcock, and I got Hoover stuck on me knob.
Well done to Sampha. That's Sampha there, the Mercury Award-winning, fantastic Sampha. I love Sampha, and her album, his album is brilliant, and that's a track from the Mercury Award-winning album. Good evening, dear listener. This is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee, and it's nights like this I remember exactly why we called this show the Late Night Alternative. You've just tuned in. Where have you been? The first hour was incredible.
Meanwhile, on the other place.
Oh, dear. Oh, God,
me.
that was wonderful. So what are we talking about? Well, we've covered lots. We literally went from sex bots to male suicide in 30 seconds. And do you know what? It didn't feel that uncomfortable. And I'm glad that Ross held his nerve. And I thought he was phoning in to talk about the sex bot. But I'm glad he held his nerve and told us, shared with us what he shared with us. Because this is what the show does, is we'll do something light, and then we'll do something stupid, and then we'll do something, that's actually quite sad and quite heavy and quite important, and then we'll throw custard pies at each other. That's life, man. You can call in about absolutely anything you want. I will have a little look through the papers. There's some good stuff in the papers as well today. But the phone number is 0344 499 1000. Just let me just tell you can listen to, if you're listening to us on one of these three methods, there are other ways you can listen to us. Of course, you can deep tune your DAB radio and get us on there around most parts of the country. You can download the Talk Radio app, which is how I tend to do most of my talk radio listening, is via the app. Or, of course, you can listen to us anywhere in the world online on talkradio.co.uk. Ricardo and then Jonathan. Good evening, Ricardo.
How you doing, Ian?
I'm doing all right. What was that? A little clearing of the throat there.
Oh, sorry, I thought I was off there.
No, that's all right. It's okay. When I get nervous, I have to blow my nose a lot. And people I get nervous before doing, like, TV shows or going on other people's radio shows, so I blow my nose a lot. And in this industry, people therefore assume I'm doing lots of cocaine. And I'm not. It's just a nervous thing I've got where I have to blow my nose a lot. And it's terrible. So they'll think I'm off my nut on coke, which I'm not, guys. Hang on a minute, what's the date? What's the date today? It is...
14th.
The 14th. I'm just under 2 weeks away from 13 years, clean and sober, guys. Imagine that. And I believe on your 13th anniversary, you're allowed to smoke a fat one, do a couple of lines, and drink champagne from a hooker's breasts. I think that's what happens.
Yes, I think so as well.
What have you got for us this evening, Ricardo?
I just want to say, thanks for the music tonight. I think it's been absolutely brilliant.
Well, we've got loads of people on Twitter complaining now that they're singing, it was Rick, wasn't it? Rubber Doll by Rick, the 20-year-old Rubber Doll. Rick, if you're listening, we got most of that. We just missed the end 'cause we have to go to the ads. Get that on a tape, mate. Make sure the vocals are nice and clear and a tape.
I was going to say, do people still do audio tape?
Yeah. Record it on your phone and email it to me, Iain@iainlee.com, and we'll play that again at some point. I enjoyed that. That was brilliant.
Or put some sellotape over the holes.
There we go, yeah. Sellotape, of course, we can never find sellotape, so we just got bits of screwed up little bits of paper and shoved them in. That worked just as well.
Did blue tack work as well?
Blue tack, as long as you filled that hole.
Blue tack's not resistant enough,
yeah, because it's a little nipple that pushes down, and the nipple has to make contact with something hard.
I think we go back to the sex bots here.
Thank you very much indeed. Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to say, obviously, first things first, great music tonight. Second thing is second.
Yes.
Really follow. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
We've spoken, hang on, we've spoken before, haven't we?
I don't think... Oh, wait.
Hang on. Have we?
Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe it's been a while. But,
hang on a minute. When you say maybe... I thought I spoke to you the other week. I mean, my memory's terrible. When you say maybe, do you mean we've spoken in a different...
Genre?
Of life?
Not really genre, let's not be too blasé about it.
Well, you would know better than me if we've spoken or not. And you said no, and now you're saying maybe.
Yeah, but you've got me thinking now, because you're questioning...
Think, have we...
What's going on?
Have we spoken before?
It's been a while.
Okay.
The important thing is you're here now, Ricardo.
Thank you, Catherine. Well done.
Exactly. That's the main thing. I just wanted to say, obviously that call earlier, it really kind of resonated, made me think, because I was on hold for 40 minutes.
The sex bot one. Oh, well, no, you mean Ross?
Beat me to the punch there.
So I'm sorry.
Thanks very much, Ian.
I'm sorry, that's my job.
No, it's fine. You fill in the blanks yourself.
I'm snappy. You set them up, I'll send them flying.
You're snappy tonight. You're on your game.
You sound a little bit
I'll
drunk.
give you that.
Thank you. You been drinking?
Yay! Really,
yeah.
Kind of
smoking?
Good tonight. But no.
Smoking or drinking?
Well, no, nothing naughty. No.
What? I'm not your mum. I'm not going to tell you off.
No, nothing like that. But no, in all seriousness though, Ross, you kind of mentioned that, fair play to him. That was actually, in all seriousness, that was a great call.
Yeah, it was a solid call.
And I phoned up to talk about Robert Mugabe and how everybody just remembers the land grabbing and not the brilliant cricket career.
Hang on, was Robert Mugabe a cricketer?
A very good spin bowler back in his day.
What was he? I mean, I don't know. I know nothing about sport. I know a little bit more about Mugabe, but not much.
Yes. He's not the nicest person you could ever meet.
No.
But, in terms of politics, in terms of a person.
Yes.
But people seem to forget that, his spin bowling career was, up there with the best of them.
Now, here's the thing. I don't know if Ricardo is joking or not. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this at face value, Ricardo. But there could be literally tens of cricket fans or Mugabe fans listening to this, chuckling away.
I think they like
Mugabeeites. Yeah. We've got Mugabe mania, chuckling away at the nonsense that you could be spreading. This could be fake news for all we know.
I can hardly think it's going to be fake news on this scale, but it could be news.
I was I was reminded of someone. Oh, yeah. This is it. Fake news.
Yeah.
Yesterday I went to speak to Mark Lewison, who's a Beatles biographer, and he's written some brilliant books about the Beatles. We'll play it out one night next week. It's a really good chat. And, we ended up talking about Ringo, and we both were going, Ringo's an amazing drummer. I can't understand why people slag Ringo off. He's got a really distinct style. His drum fills are excellent.
Yeah.
And he said, of course, there's the famous quote attributed to John Lennon, right? You know this quote? Ringo Starr wasn't the best drummer in the world. He wasn't even the best drummer in the Beatles. Now, that was said by John Lennon, right?
But I'm pretty sure that wasn't actually the case.
Go on. You go with it.
I'm no expert. But I know about Robert McGarvey a little bit.
Okay.
As I've already kind of stated. But
you're right about the Ringo Starr quote, right? It's not a John Lennon quote.
I don't think that's above the line, Ian.
Sorry?
I don't think that actually was said.
No, it wasn't said by John Lennon. It was said by Jasper Carrott in a routine after John Lennon died, saying, of course, John Lennon famously said Ringo Starr wasn't the best drummer in the world, he wasn't even the best drummer in the Beatles.
Well, people listened to him and went, oh, yeah, right, that sounds legit.
No, but the thing is, it became real.
What was Brummy...
Hello? Ricardo's nuts. I'm dealing with someone who's absolutely nuts on the phone right now.
No, listen. What was Brummy comedian Jasper Carrott doing in that interview with the Beatles? Why was he there?
He wasn't in an interview with the Flippin' Heck, man.
Hang on a minute, this is an opportunity. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was there. He was there. He was doing the windows.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, he was doing the windows.
He like,
on his funky
moped. Or something.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that, Ricardo.
Okay, Ian. Always a pleasure to speak to you.
Okay.
Is it? You've never spoken to him before?
He was on last week, I'm sure of it. It was a Jasper Carrott gag from the 80s, and it's become real, and people will cite it. There was an article about, I can't remember, one of the Beatles, it would have been about John or Ringo, in the Times in the last couple of years, and they said, of course, John Lennon said, and they had it, and it's become real. It's become a thing, and it's delicious. Fake news. There's Mike Nesmith from the Monkees tells a story. The line is, in 1967, and I've always said this, right, as fact, in 1967, the Monkees sold twice as many records as the Beatles and the Rolling Stones put together. Now, it's feasible that's true, because the Beatles only released one album, Sgt. Pepper. I think the Monkees released 3, maybe 4, and they had loads of singles and they sold millions. So it's feasible. But then last year, Nesmith comes out in an interview and says, I faked that story. I did an interview in 1979, and I wanted to see what would happen if I dropped one lie into the ocean. Would it grow and grow, or would it get swallowed up? So he claims he lied in this interview and said, oh, by the way, of course, we sold twice as many records as the Beatles and the Stones. And it became this thing. So the internet around Monkey fandom kind of exploded, going, wow, okay. And then about 6 months later, someone said, I don't think that is a lie. I think him saying it was a lie was the lie. And it's this wonderful thing, if you can just drop a little thing into the ocean and it can grow.
Or a great big one called Doing a Blessed.
Oh, Brian Blessed. What was it? He delivered a baby in Hampstead Heath and bit
the cord with his face.
With his bare teeth, he ripped the umbilical cord.
What was the other? Just so many. I think Brian Blessed is experimenting with just how much bullshine you can feed people and then going, oh, yeah, sounds right.
Dear listeners, very, very busy on the phones. Well, Jonathan, I know you've been waiting for ages. I promise I'll come to you next. Then after that, guys, it's a musical treat stroke nightmare. It's Nigel. Oh! We got Chris from Port Talbot calling in as well. This is brilliant.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0344 499 1000 will tonight be the second lock-in ever in British radio. Very, very strong vibe. We can't keep this pace up, Catherine, for the whole show.
By Friday we'll be hating ourselves again, so let's just enjoy it.
Let's just enjoy it. Like, Jonathan, you've been waiting ages, mate. I'm really sorry. What have you got for us?
It's a bit a bit mixed feelings at the moment because a family friend of mine is going away for a year to Japan to teach English.
That's going to be quite some experience for them. What are you to describe? What mixed feelings in what way? You're sad that they're going, or happy?
Well, I'm happy for them, but I'm sad that. Well, I'm not even that. I'm just envious.
Well, hang on a second. Enjoy that, because that's a really big thing to admit. I struggle with admitting I'm envious, and envy is natural, and it's different from jealousy. Envy is natural, and that's a very mature thing to be able to admit being envious.
What's the difference?
Envious, I think, it just happens, and jealousy is meaner. Jealousy is, I want that and I think I deserve that. Envy is, God, I wish I was doing that. And there's a very subtle difference, but jealousy is dark. Envy can be a driving force towards us improving ourselves.
Okay.
Does that sound about right?
I'll have that.
Yeah, that works.
That's spot on.
Well, why don't you do something like that, Jonathan? You're a very intelligent young man.
Oh, it'd take all evening to explain. But I'm also worried for them. Yep. I'm worried for them personally, and I'm also worried for their mother.
Okay, why are you worried for them? Is it because North Korea has just fired a missile from Pyongyang? Is Japanese residents are being warned to take shelter, which is actually genuinely just happening on the news right now, guys?
What worries me about that situation is if it does kick off,
yes,
and there is a nuclear conflict,
yes,
my friend is going to be stuck in Japan.
Yep.
If they're lucky, they'll die when the bomb drops.
Wow.
But if they're not lucky, they're in a strange land. No way of getting home. No way of contacting home. They've got radiation sickness.
Yes.
No food. That's a horrible way to die. Pretty much all alone in a foreign country, away from your family and friends, knowing that you're. It's actually a very cruel way to die, and I'm also worried for the parents back here, because if it did,
no one wants their children to die of a nuclear attack.
Well, I'm just concerned because it can go. It can one false move, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
But isn't it interesting that your head has gone to one of the worst things that could possibly happen, a nuclear strike on Japan? And it is, just to reiterate, there is a news thing. North Korea has fired missiles from Pyongyang, and Japan warns residents take shelter. That's from the BBC website. But I don't think they're going to nuke Japan, are they? Or maybe they are. I don't know.
You know what? After the past 18 months, anything can happen. And I'm also worried for the mother as well, because it's going to be a whole year, and she's got MS as well, the mother. Yep. And she's ill at the moment, and when she gets ill, it can be pretty nasty.
Yeah, of course it can.
And she was coming down the weather Tuesday, the last time I saw her, but it's gotten so bad she might not even be able to go to the airport
to
see her daughter.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. It'd be a great adventure. I'm certainly envious. There would be a ton of things I'd want to do in Japan.
What would you do? What would you do in Japan? Because I've been to Japan. I've been to Japan 3 times, I think, and I absolutely loved it. And I was looking at going and live there for a year, and then funnily enough, Jonathan, I was going to live there for a year, and it would have been tricky because of my mum's MS. Then we kind of had a kid, and it just became completely impractical. But it's something I'd still like to do one day. What would you do in Japan?
Well, after sleeping it off the 11-hour journey, I'd probably look to go to the electronics district.
Here we go, Akihabara. Here's the thing, right? This last time I went to Japan, we did the flight, and we got in at about 2:00 in the afternoon, and we dropped our bags off, and my friend, whose name escapes me, I've completely forgotten his name, He was at the Japanese games exhibition that was on the other side of Tokyo. And I said to my wife, we're going to get a cab, we're going to go 2-hour cab ride over to this games exhibition, walking around with all these, anime girls and manga, all of this stuff going on. It was like being on acid. It was so surreal. And we were shattered. So forget that sleeping it off, dude. You've got to get straight out there and into it.
Well, preferably, I'd like to go sometime around Christmas or just after New Year, because then I could go to the electronic district. I can then go to the Tokyo Dome to watch the annual Wrestle Kingdom show, and then
go and see some sumo.
No, it's not sumo. It's pro.
No, I know exactly. Forget that. Go and see. We went to the Budokan to watch sumo. We thought we'd stay there for an hour. We stayed there all day. I've never seen anything like it. It was brilliant. And you get a little earpiece, and you put the earpiece in, so you get the commentary in English. We had the time of our lives.
Jonathan, just go, for heaven's sake.
Do it, man.
You've already thought it through. You've thought it through in quite a lot of detail.
Me and air travel don't go well together. There was a very nasty experience the last time I went air travelling.
Well, I don't even want to ask what it was with you, because it could have been anything. Do it, man. The flight is expensive, but you can get really cheap digs over there. Honestly, man, it will.
I hear it's expensive.
It is. Do you know what? Tokyo is really expensive, and we spent quite a bit of money on what was the tiniest room. It was all plastic moulded, and only one of us could stand up at a time. It was horrendous. But
have you ever been on the Bullet or to Kyoto?
Yes, the Shinkansen, of course. Of course I've been on it loads of times. It's incredible. If you go to Kyoto and Osaka, right, it's so much cheaper. We stayed when we were in, it wasn't it wasn't either of those. It was a little village, but we stayed in a youth hostel at one point, which was horrendous, but was dirt cheap. Tokyo is expensive. Once you get outside Tokyo, it becomes a lot more affordable. But you go to Tokyo for 2 nights, then you get the bullet train to Kyoto.
Yeah, and maybe pop down south to Kobe.
Dude, do it, man. It will change your life.
For the sake of the flight, don't let that stop you from going. It's a drop in the ocean in terms of your life.
Well, don't say drop in the ocean when you're talking about flying.
No, but what I'm saying is...
That's a bad choice of words.
All right, then. It's nothing. It's a sacrifice worth... maybe not say that. I was going to say bite the bullet. Go!
Do it, man!
Everyone keeps telling me to do that.
You've thought about it so much, Jonathan. I think you really want to go, but you're telling yourself...
I've thought about certain aspects of it. I haven't really thought about the full implications.
How old are you, Jonathan?
Old is old.
In my mid-30s.
Yeah.
The time is now.
Do it. Jonathan, if you want, listen, if you ever think about it, I'm happy, if you send me an email, I'm happy to give you, I'm sure I can find a few links and stuff of places that I've got. If, for example, if you buy your, train tickets over here for the Shinkansen. We bought a pass for the Shinkansen, which meant we could use it as much as we want, the bullet train, as much as we want. And if you buy it over here from the Japan Centre, it's really, really cheap. I think it's like 150 quid, and you can use the train as much as you want. You buy it over there, it's like 300 quid. So there's loads of things. Send me an email, and I'll send you some bits and pieces, man. Do it!
Well, thanks for that offer.
Jonathan, listen, it's good to talk to you, man, and we'll speak again soon. Do it, man.
You know what he's doing?
Yeah.
He's doing classic me. Yeah. Seeing the hurdles and going, not for me.
Exactly.
Start saying yes to stuff.
And the thing is, the Japanese are so friendly. The number of times, and I learnt a little bit of Japanese, okay, and it blew their minds. Because white people don't learn Japanese because they think it's so complicated. It's not. It's the easiest language in the world. I can't do languages, and I got okay at it because the sentences are all broken down into 4 sections. They all follow the same thing. There's no irregular verbs, none of that. It's once you've got the structure of the sentence, you can do it. So I would speak to people in Japanese, and they're like, whoa. I remember having a conversation with a bus driver. Does this bus go back to the centre of the town? He said, no. I said, oh, which bus do I need? He said, oh, you need the number 43. And the whole bus was looking at me as I was doing this in Japanese, and it blew my mind. But also, the number of times me and my wife were stood in Tokyo with a map out, literally within a minute, every time someone would come up, someone who couldn't speak English very well, and we would say, what are you looking for? And we'd say, we're trying to find this. And they would spend 5-10 minutes. One girl, we were trying to find a club to go and see a band. And we had this tiny little printed map. And this girl came over, and her English wasn't very good. She said, what can I help you? She said, we're trying to find this. She was looking at the map going, I don't know where you are on this map. Let me phone them up. And she phoned up the number that was on there. And she's talking to him. She goes, okay. Okay. She goes, right, I've got it. It's about 15 minutes away. And we said, okay, which direction? She said, no, come with us. Come with me and we'll take you. This was our second night in Japan. And we're thinking, we're going to get murdered. Mm-hmm. And she took us to the club. She went, there it is. 15 minutes out of her way. There it is. And we said, oh, thanks. She goes, thank you. We said, oh, can we come in and we'll buy you a drink? Or so? She goes, no, enjoy your evening. She was gone. It's the most helpful people in the world. I love it. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. This is Talk Radio.
Tales of mystery and imagination on the radio show that does things differently.
Dolly Parton, I listen to a record all day long.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
I'm a nut job, but not that kind of nut job.
On Talk Radio.
Honest to God, it's the new Breaking Bad. Oh no!
Just said to, can I just say, I'm loving this show. We don't know how long it's going to last, but the switchboard, everyone that's on the switchboard, don't put your phones down, because I've got such a rich selection of voices to go to. Let's go to one we've not spoken to for a while. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Ian.
How are you, Chris?
I'm not too bad, actually.
Great.
And you?
I'm a little bit windy, but I'm fine.
Oh, thank you. Well, I didn't want to know that,
well, you asked. You shouldn't have asked the question.
Last time I spoke to you, you thought I was going to prison.
Remind me.
It was quite a while ago, actually.
Okay, did you go to prison?
No, I bloody did not.
Good for you.
No. I almost did.
What did you do? You hit someone?
No.
What did you do?
Nothing.
Well, you don't nearly go to prison for nothing.
It was an ex-partner of mine, and yes, I don't want to speak to it about it on air anyway.
In fairness, you brought it up.
Yes, I did, and it's I've still got to deal with it, and I do. I try to. You know, I had to go over there yesterday. Wound me up. But there you go. Like, I've got a new partner now, and she's going to Algeria for 3 weeks, and she wants me to look after a guide dog. So, yeah, I said yes. Yeah, I will.
Can you do that? Can you just... Can someone else... I thought... can someone else just look after someone else's guide dog?
Yes. But they've actually let her down. So when I was speaking to her, and I didn't mention it, and I said, well, if they do let you down, I'll look after it. Yes, I will. And that was, yes.
That's a great story.
So I'm going down on the weekend now to have a... what do you call it?
A session with her? The guide dog, I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I hope that goes well for you.
I hope so, because my eyesight is gone, and it winds me up. That's why I get wound up all the time.
You sound a lot calmer than you have done in the past.
What, do you remember me then?
Yeah, you're the blind guy that's quite grumpy and always gets robbed.
Oh, charming. No, I haven't been robbed for over a year, actually.
Good, that's great news.
No. But I did hear the other phone call earlier talking about what was the song? I've forgotten now.
Rubber Doll?
Oh, that was quite good, actually.
It was good. I enjoyed that. I thought he was great.
No, it was good. I liked the guitar stuff. Yeah, it was quite good. No, what's the guy from Birmingham?
Alan Caddick? He's not been on tonight.
See, my mind is gone now.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I've no idea who you're talking...
Jasper Carrott.
Jasper Carrott, right, yes.
What was the song?
Funky Moped.
I used to have that.
Yeah, it was a big hit. Very big hit.
Aye. It was one record I used to have. I used to have a little, like, radio player.
Is it?
When I was a kid, and I'd play. What was the?
Oh dear, oh dear.
The Lumberjack song.
Yeah.
Am I keeping you awake?
The opposite.
Pardon? I love listening to yourself and Catherine. Actually, I do. I can't believe I've rung the show. I listen to you most evenings, actually, and you make me smile.
Well, that's very nice.
Good for you guys.
Thank you. Well, thanks for calling tonight, Chris.
And I'll carry on listening.
Thank you, mate. Take care.
All the best, boy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There we go. What a nice man. Oh, hang on a second. Excuse me. It's time for a little bit of this. Oh no, hang on. Where's me? Hang on a minute. Why is that? Is my computer on? Why is that not? Sometimes my computer does very queer things. That's all right. Hang on a second. This is important. We get this right. So, got to get this right. Hang on.
Bear with, everyone. Bear with.
Guys. We want to get this absolutely spot on. Here we go. There we go. It's time to go to Chuck Winkle from the latest news on what exactly is happening in Pyongyang. Chuck, are you there?
Hello, Cowboys.
Chuck, where can you tell us where exactly you are and what you can see?
Well, as you can bloody see, I'm in the car. I've got to go around to Japan, and I'm in my car because I heard on your radio show that there might be a missile launched out in North Korea.
Well, you're the reporter, Chuck. You give us the facts.
Right.
Fact me hard.
I can't think I can see it, actually.
Can you? What does it look like?
Like a shooting star. Launched by Kim Jong-un, and it looks very angry indeed.
Can you tell where it's heading to, Chuck?
Well, as I say, I'm in Japan, and my car...
Whereabouts in Japan are you?
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong's not in Japan, Chuck.
Sorry, no, I've got the cold.
Tokyo?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Right, it's going left. Right, it's still going left. Going straight a bit now.
What's the mood like there, Chuck?
I don't know, I'm in my car.
Okay, could you wind the window down a little bit?
Right, one second. Charting.
Sorry?
I'm talking in their local Japanese dialect. Chopping. Right, they're really scared as well. So I'm going in and out.
Can you ask them, sorry, when you said you're in your car, I thought you were moving, but obviously you're stationary. Could you ask them what their thoughts are about, Kim Yum Yum?
Right, 1 second. So me, Pong Pai, Sui, Jigab, Kim Yum Yum. Right.
Right.
Okay. Right, he thinks he's a bit of a scoundrel.
Well, Chuck, listen, get somewhere safe and keep in touch, and Godspeed with you, my friend.
Over now, God bless America.
Thank you very much indeed. Wow. That's Chuck Winkle there on the braking situation. If anything else happens, I'm sure we'll hear from him. 03444991000. Nigel, Jake, Cleo, stay there. Come to you after this.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
Anyone know what's going on the show tonight? I am...
All sorts.
All sorts, dear listener. Let's go to Jake first. Good evening, Jake.
All right, Ian.
Hello, Jake.
Hello, mate. I'm currently driving halfway through Germany on the way to Munich for the Oktoberfest.
Oh, it's the guy who goes to the Oktoberfest in Septemberfest.
Ja, das ist sehr gut.
Ja, das ist Oktober. Das ist nicht Oktober, das ist September.
Yeah, that is me. Do you remember me
I
from
do
last
remember
Friday on the radio show?
Yes, I do remember yourself. What was your last Friday? Going to the Oktoberfest.
You're asking, where's your wife?
Where's your wife?
And yeah. You told me to make love to my wife and film it for Instagram. Yeah.
If she gets pregnant from that
Very
sex...
filthy of you, I've got to say.
I want you to name
Very
it.
filthy.
I want you to name it
Standard
Ian.
procedure.
I want you to name it Ian. I wonder if it that's what I should have asked Aaron. Can you make the sex bot pregnant and does is it what comes out like a little computer mouse?
A microchip.
Yes, it could be.
I think a little USB stick. I think.
Yes, and you have to download your child onto a computer. Hey, that'll be
That'd
good.
be great.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
Tamagotchi.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
So you're driving across. So when does the boozing start?
Well, it kind of started straight away. We all caught the coach from Westminster.
Yeah.
And there's about I don't know, God knows, about 40 of us.
Das Boozenbus.
We're all boozing away.
Oh, mate, that sounds hellish. You're on a bus going to an Oktoberfest full of drunk men already.
From London all the way to Munich, about 20 hours. So
I bet it stinks in there, doesn't it?
Well, no one's pissed themselves yet. So,
well, you wait till you get up and you swap seats and you sit in a damp patch. Is everyone? Was it 1:45, 1:45 over there?
They're all pretty cool. Like they're watching some crappy. I can say crap, right?
Remember yesterday?
We'll
go to me. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, they're watching some crappy DVD. I don't know.
Okay. Get them to make some noise for British radio.
Yeah. I'll pass you on to my mate, yeah?
Oh,
jeez. Okay.
Hello, Ian.
Hello there, God. I apologise for Jake's behaviour. How annoying is it being stuck with him?
He's been fine so far.
Oh, is he not a bit irritating?
It's the glasses that irritate me with him. No, I'm joking. He's absolutely fine.
Hey, lads.
We've got a question we've been arguing about on the coach for ages, right?
Bring it on, buddy.
Okay, so if we're all gamers, right? So if they're the Mario brothers,
yeah.
One's called Mario, one's called Luigi.
Yeah.
So is Mario's surname Mario?
It is.
Oh, that was
I know that is their. I'm pretty sure their last name is Mario.
So it's Mario Luigi and Mario.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is. And here's the thing, right? There was furore online yesterday because Nintendo, they've got a new Mario game coming out. And for the first time ever, we've seen Mario without a top on. And Mario's got nipples.
Jesus.
Google Mario's nipples.
Hard right now.
The thing that surprised me the most is he doesn't have a hairy chest.
Doesn't have a hairy chest like most Italian men. And also, in previous canon photographs, he's had a tattoo, and the tattoo is gone. He's had that removed.
What's the tat of?
It's like a sort of...
Anchor?
No, it's sort of like...
Crying cactus.
Oh, no, that looks like a swastika. It's not that. It's like a shield. It's like a shield.
Okay.
It's not got a swastika on him. But yeah, I think their last name is Mario.
Oh, that's really annoying. We've been arguing for about, we left London at
20 hours ago.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we could help.
It's all settled.
Thanks for calling, guys. Have fun.
That's right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Oh, it sounds absolutely awful, doesn't it? I can't think of anything worse. The only experience I have similar to that was when my mum... I was 16 and my mum was a secretary for someone quite high up at this science firm in Slough, and they were quite well to do. And there was a coach trip to Paris, and so I went with my mum. And we went on the coach trip, and half the coach was her friends from work, and they were quite posh. And the other half of the coach were these horrible drunk people from Newcastle. I'm not saying that about Newcastle people in general, but they were from Newcastle, and they were horrible. And they were pissed, and they were obnoxious. And I remember coming down to breakfast and at 9 o'clock in the morning and going, Mum, look, they're drinking wine for breakfast. It was awful. The worst mismatch of people you could possibly imagine. So being on a coach with all those blokes going to the Oktoberfest, just farting and, disgusting. Speaking of disgusting, good evening, Nigel.
Oh, good evening, Ian.
Good evening, Nigel.
Hello, Nigel.
Hello, Catherine. I'm standing outside and I can see a shooting star.
That's not a shooting star, that's a missile from Kim Jong-jong.
Duck and cover.
Missile ejaculating up the sky, and it's heading for stars in your eyes.
Okay.
Stars in your eyes. That's a joke.
Can you highlight which bit of that was?
Well, Stars in Your Eyes, Stars in Your Eyes, that singing programme, you know.
Yes, and the ejaculate...
a shooting star ejaculating across the sky.
Okay.
Towards Stars in Your Eyes, the singing show. It's just a joke, really.
Okay. I wouldn't open it.
I told Hilary Duff I was going to be on earlier, so I didn't know I was going to... I'm on now. Anyway, she might be listening. Hilary, I put a message on her Facebook.
No.
Because I like to tell people what I'm doing.
I know you do, and we like that you like to tell people what you're doing.
I heard the Dolly Parton bit. I didn't know you done that.
Yeah, you're in the trails for the show. Imagine.
Could that was nice. Thank you for doing that for me.
Literally my pleasure. What have you got for us tonight?
Could you record something for iTunes now, which is a song I've made up? But could you not put it on, mix it with something for iTunes later on? Or?
We would, but we've run out of blank tapes, haven't we?
Yeah, I've got no blank tapes.
Anyway,
there's no way I'm not taping over Sunday's chart show. I've not listened to it all yet.
Is the show being recorded for YouTube now?
It's being recorded for criminal purposes and training purposes.
Yes. So, if I do this song, it will be recorded and you'll be able to play it back anyway?
Something will happen, yes.
Yeah. So, it's not very long, it's about 2 minutes long, and it's called I'm Going Back to Memphis, and it's a song I wrote. It's quite good, I reckon. It's a country song.
Okay.
Country like Dolly Parton type of thing.
Yes.
So I thought you might like to hear it.
Well.
And I'll get back to you after it's finished, if that's okay.
Please do, Nigel.
And shall I fire away now?
Fire away. Sounds like you mean orgasm, doesn't it?
I hope it doesn't happen, Ian, because I want to be here for Christmas.
Yeah, let's hope they bomb us. They can bomb us in the week between Christmas and New Year, because that bit's always a bit flaccid.
Telly's awful. They're not going to bomb us anyway. They're going to bomb the other countries.
They're going to bomb Japan, or
Doesn't matter then, does it?
Oh, I've got another joke.
Oh.
I'll sue. Oh, no, anyway, forget it, Ian. I should have said that when I first come on, actually. It's hello in Japanese, hasu.
It's not, but never mind.
Isn't it? Oh, no. Well, that's my joke anyway. Well. I always get it wrong. Here we go then. Oh, I'll get back to you in a second, and you can tell me what you think of it.
Yeah.
I'm going back to Memphis. It's the place I wanna go. I'm going back to Memphis to see the people I know. I know the weather's not always good, but I wanna go there soon. I'm going back to Memphis. It's the place I wanna go. Going back to Memphis.
2 minutes of this.
To see my family.
Get the rubber doll guy back on, please. His family live there now.
I would like to have some fun there with my family.
It's drum beats.
Hello?
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 Yep.
What do you think?
I thought that was
catchy, isn't it?
It is catchy. Have you ever been to
I'm going
Memphis?
back to Memphis. Just sing along.
Have you ever been to Memphis?
No, of course not. I couldn't afford it.
Right. So how can you go back to Memphis? And what members of your family live out there?
It's just a song. It's not true. It's just a song.
Oh, I feel a bit.
But something could be done with it, couldn't it?
It could be binned, yeah.
It could be binned. I thought it wasn't too bad.
Well,
anyway.
Yeah.
So I've got the tune there. It's a different tune, isn't it?
It is different. Oh, well done. That was the selling point for Nigel. It's a different tune to the one he normally does.
The Miley Cyrus ones.
Yeah, all of the other songs you've been doing for the last 25 years. You found they are the same thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, dude.
How's about that? Yeah.
How's about that then, guys and girls?
No. Too soon.
Thanks for that, Nigel.
Yeah, thanks for it. I can hear it back again on YouTube. Can't
Sure,
I?
why not? Why not? Sounds absolutely. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Going back to Memphis. What was the drum doing? It's like.
It sounded like your drum was beating off. It sounded like someone was beating off on the drum.
It was all over, wasn't it?
That was unusual. I like it, but it was a different tune.
I mean, you can't deny that.
Evening, Cleo.
There's always an element of Jimmy Savile about Nigel. Anyway.
I was reminded by that someone... I'm working on a top secret project, Cleo, that I can't say too much about, right?
Oh.
And someone sent me some footage from this top secret project. I saw the email and I thought, I must look at that later when I get some time, and I forgot about it. It's about 3 or 4 days ago. I can't find the email now.
Oh, no.
Because I really want to show Kath the footage. But let's just say, right, you think you know what good music is, you don't know nothing. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Something very special is happening in the world of Lee and the world of music. That's all I'm going to say.
When might it drop?
It could drop. Could drop any time in the next three or 4 weeks.
Oh,
very soon.
Will I notice when it drops?
Oh, baby, listen, it's going to be. You remember Sgt. Pepper? The impact that had.
No, I think I was born.
Okay. Anyway, Cleo.
Have you recorded an album with Nigel?
I'm not at liberty to reveal anything.
Lordy mama. Anyhow, I'm testing something out today. Did you ever, them stupid, adverts you'll find somewhere, where you can get a free sample of something through the post to try? Fuel. I tried that Fuel that way.
Yes.
Free sample.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what I've done?
What have you done? You've offered it. You're giving away a free sample.
No, I've received a free sample and I'm wearing it now.
Oh God, it's not one of Nigel's samples, is it?
Essence Do Singer. No, it's how do I say this?
Oh God.
A men's hygiene.
You wearing nappies?
Almost.
Tennerman.
Yes.
Why?
I just thought, I'll see what it's like. Because I do have the occasional dribble problem.
Why the hell would you think it was okay to tell us that you've got bladder weakness problems and that you sent off for a free... Why are you telling us this? I don't want to know this.
It's not bladder weakness. It's not bladder weakness. It's
you do it on purpose?
Laziness.
Just pure to test it. I've just been...
Why are you telling me this?
I'm joking.
Why is he telling me
he's
this?
saying he's joking. I think
he's
not
joking. I'm going to cut him off. Why are you telling us this?
I've got a man talking to
He's
us
gone.
while sitting in his own juices.
No, I'm not. Why would you tell us? Listen, I know we say you can talk about anything. Why would you tell us that? Why would you tell us that you got a problem with your bladder, so you need to wear tenor lady? I don't know. Why? And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, people have to, and that's fine. I'm not in any way mocking people that have to do this. Actually, it's a lot more common than you think.
He said he hasn't got bladder weakness. He just occasionally. I don't want to continue this.
Me that? I don't want to know that.
Me as well. I can't unknow it.
I don't want to know that.
Ugh.
Flipping it. That's one taboo. I'm not prepared to Roach. No, listen, people have to do it. I know they have to, and that's fine, but don't tell me about it. It's fine you're doing it. Don't tell me about it. I don't want to know.
What are we supposed to do with that information?
Guys, another hour at least to go. Very strong vibe, the first 2 hours. Will it remain as strong in the last hour? If it does, we might do the second radio lock-in ever. But we might not. We've got no calls for the first time this evening. The switchboard is empty. A wonderful array of phone calls you've had so far. You don't have to be as good or as weird or as bad as those guys. You can call in about absolutely anything you want. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. You'll speak to Sam. He will call you back. It's free for most of you, pennies at the most, and you can call in about. I've never had to put this caveat in. You can call in about almost anything. I mean, there are just some things that I don't actually need to know. 0344 499 1000. If you've got a radar diary, my name is Iain Lee. The show is called The Late Night Alternative, and the radio station is Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000. The phones are getting busy again, guys, so get your calls in quick. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road is where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold. A brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we've paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll find what I call home. Until tomorrow, you know I'm free to roll.
Very, very weird show this evening, guys. Even by our standards, we've started with. Here's some of the things that we've discussed so far, in case any of them grab your fancy. We spoke to Arran Squire at the start of the show. He's the gentleman who has a sex bot living with him called Samantha. We spoke to her as well. I had to use the dump button on her. We also spoke to Ross, who was spoke very openly about his mate who took his own life. And how he was dealing with that. And then we've been all over the shop. We've had Nigel's song about Memphis. I don't even know what's going on, to be honest. If the vibe keeps up for the next 50 minutes, we might have another lock-in, guys. And that is where we carry on after 1 o'clock. But who knows? We'll see. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. Good evening, Hamo.
Hey, how's it going? Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, hey, it's going well. Yo, yo, yo.
Sounds good to me, man.
That's right, man.
Every time I come on, I think this is the least, well, we'll see. It's the least nervous I've felt. I've been bigging myself up to it. I wrote a list of things I talk about just in case I forget.
Mm-hmm.
I've already forgotten, so I'm not going to look though. I'm just going to talk.
One of my, but you don't hear it so much these days, Hemo, but actually I've heard it twice listening to another radio station on the way home. Is, you will quite often get old people phoning up and they're reading what they want to say. And it's the weirdest thing. It's that they go, I would like to talk about the situation in Korea. I think that Kim Jong-un needs to be taught a lesson, and there's no, they're not actors, so the reading is very deadpan. It's very dry, and they can't, and it's boring. Who wants to hear an old person reading something they've written? What, to phone up and talk? That's what you got to do.
Unless it's someone like, Billy Idol.
Oh, if it was Billy Idol, he could read his shopping list to me, Hemo, and I'd be over the moon with that. But you used to get it a lot. I had a lovely cup of tea today with an old friend of mine who I don't see often enough, Clive Bull, who's a radio presenter on another station. I've heard of him. He's good. I genuinely think he is the best radio presenter this country has ever produced, and one day I'll go into great detail why. And we had a lovely chat, and he was talking to me about Peter Cook, because Peter Cook, the famous comedian, used to phone him up as Sven, Sven from Swiss Cottage, a Norwegian fisherman. And the calls
I remember.
They're on YouTube, mate, and they're absolutely brilliant. And I'd never heard the full story, so I said to Clive, can you talk to me about Peter Cook? When did you realise it was Peter Cook? He said, well, quite early on, because a caller that used to phone him, a guy called Rainbow George, was friends with Peter Cook, and he said, just to say, I think Peter might phone you up one day. So he was prepared for Peter to phone him up, and he knew it was a fake call. He thinks either during the first one or the second one, he worked out it was Peter Cook. Okay. And Peter Cook phoned him about 7 or 8 times. And then shortly after that, Clive lost his job at LBC. And Peter got in touch with him. I didn't know this. Peter Cook got in touch with him and took him out for tea and cake in Hampstead and just sat with him and for an afternoon and said, I think you're brilliant. I think you're one of I think you're a great broadcaster, and I think you'll do really well. Yeah. And was picking his brains about what it was like at LBC. He was asking him, what does Therese Birch, one of the then presenters, what does she look like? What does such and such look like? What is such and such like in real life? And I thought that was so wonderful. And he also gave me another, sorry, I'll let you talk in a second, Hammer. I'm on a roll here. He also told me 2 things I didn't know. One, that when Peter Cook used to go around the world, he'd go to LA and stuff like that, he would send postcards to Clive as Sven in Swiss Cottage, but Sven in LA. And also, he came up with another character. Here's something for you radio geeks and Peter Cook fans. He told Clive he had another character called, I think it was Jürgen the German. And he phoned up twice to get put through, and the phone operator didn't put him through because they could tell it was a prank call. They did, and Peter Cook died a couple of months after that. So we didn't get Jürgen the German.
It could have been a classic.
Oh, it could have been, man.
So from that story, what did Bob Mortimer have for dinner?
Sorry?
What did Bob Mortimer have for dinner?
Bob Mortimer, when?
When he took you out for dinner.
Bob Mortimer didn't take me out for dinner. What are you talking about?
I'm only joking.
What?
I'm only messing around.
Bob Mortimer's never taken me out. I've been out for lunch with Bob Mortimer, and I think he had fish. I think he had fish. He wears slippers because he's got terrible arthritis. Yeah.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't wear slippers.
Oh, mate, you've got to wear slippers. Oh, slippers is where it's at. Kath, you remember when we were doing the breakfast show? You bought me some slippers.
Yeah, I did, because you always walk around with no shoes on.
I've still got them. Still got those slippers.
I wear my Converse sort of all the time.
Now, Converse, do you not find the Converse pinch near the toes?
Yeah.
No, I've been wearing them solid for like 20 years.
Well, you should take them off. I've got I'm back into cons at the moment. I found a pair of cons. Someone sent me a free pair of cons, so I'm wearing them. Ooh. But they pinch at the toes. They've got very thin soles. You can't run in cons.
I think I do all right, but
mate, if you had proper running shoes on, man alive, you'd run so much faster.
I would. I've got long legs.
Yeah.
Like you.
There we go. I'll race you.
Yeah, I don't like slippers. I like my dressing gown. That's my comfort.
Dressing gown. No, that's a bit louche for me. That's a bit old, flamboyant, 50-year-old sexual predator for me.
Like it to be swinging free.
Oh, dirty Hemo! Was that on your list of things to talk about?
Just let me check it out.
Go to the list! Go to the list, boy!
No, don't worry about the list.
Don't worry about the list.
Okay. I'll speak to you another time, right?
Are we done? Thank you, mate. I enjoyed that. Cheers, Hemo.
Peace out.
Take care, mate. Ta-ta. What a nice man.
Peace out, innit? I like it to be swinging free.
I've never really got to. I've never really understood the point of a dressing gown, and I've got a silk kimono.
Oh God.
I've never...
and you think the other thing is elaborate and?
Oh no, I look good in that. I don't get a dressing gown though because I put my pyjamas on. Well, I don't even really wear pyjamas now. I sleep in my pants, but I take my clothes off to get into bed, and then when I get up, I get dressed. There's no in between.
Oh, I don't. I can hang out in my dressing gown all day.
Dirty.
Love it.
Dirty man. Evening, Paul.
Hi.
I've got quite bad indigestion. I need to lie on the floor and fart. Basically,
God.
That's what I need to do. Terrible bad trapped wind. Anyway, go on, Paul. What have you got for us, boss?
Oh, delightful vision.
Take your favourite movie is Gone with the Wind, then.
Say that again. What?
Your favourite movie is Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind. Frankly, Paul, I couldn't give a stuff. Is that? I think that's how it goes.
Near enough.
That's how it goes. Yeah. What have you got for us this fine evening, Paul?
I don't know, really. Just cock and a pussy.
Sorry, a cock and a pussy. That was it. And he's put the phone down. That was Paul's. Let's just have a round of applause for that. Well done, Paul. Paul, what have you got for us? A cock and a pussy.
Gosh.
That was great, Paul. I would give you 2 hours. And here's the thing, right? I've just been talking about the majesty of Peter Cook's magnificent prank calls to Clive Ball. And that shows just how far we've come in the last 30 years.
I mean, we got owned there. Owned.
Very poor show. Hang on a minute. How do I see which calls have... here we go. How do I call Paul back? What button do I press? Do I press a button on here? Go on the microphone, Sam. Is there... Come on the microphone. I can see... I've got call log.
Yeah, is there... Once you click on someone's name, is there like a call button on the far right?
The far right, Julia Hartley-Brewer. No, there's no call button.
Oh, well, there is on this. Shall I come have a look?
Yeah, come and have a look. Let's call him back because I want to. Maybe we're doing him a disservice, and maybe he had something to say, and he's actually got a proper problem with a bird and a cat.
You could call it a problem. You could call it options.
Oh, do I press that? Oh, there we go. Nice. Oh, thank you, mate. There we go.
It has not been possible to connect your call.
He switched it.
Again later.
Oh, Paul, he switched it off. Oh, this is great. I can phone people back.
It has not been possible to connect
I did. Oh, Sam, you spoil me, sir. I didn't know this. Oh, he switched his phone. Mate, I'm not... Paul, if you're listening, I'm not phoning to have a go.
I bet his name isn't Paul. Whoever that was, we'd love to have a chat.
Paul, I'm not phoning to have a go. I just want to deconstruct the gag, and I want to help you do better prank calls in the future. I swear to God, that's it. I'm not gonna...
It has not been possible to connect your call.
Mate. Please... That's really disappointing. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
The wild man of late night radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us...
It has not been possible to connect your...
bottled it.
Gone to bed. School night, isn't it?
It is a school night. Paul, you upstairs on that bloody phone?
Did you just say cock?
What are you doing talking about my pussy? Put that bloody phone down, Paul! 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you are more than welcome to do so. For the first time tonight, we haven't got any calls on the switchboard, but what a great load of calls we've had. I love these stories. A customer service advisor has been fired for calling a client Mr. C word.
What, the worst word in the world?
Yeah.
Oh.
This seems to happen quite a lot. People get letters addressed to Mr. and Mrs. C or something. That's me buzzing. Sorry, let me plug that in. We were looking at some rare behind-the-scenes footage. A customer service advisor has been fired for calling a client Mr. C when he asked to cancel his PlusNet contract. And that's not a reference to the shaman. The insult came after Kevin Knott was told his plea to change a direct debit date was impossible. Mr. Knott, 40, naughty 40, then asked Andrew Heslop to transfer his call to the cancellations department. As he was put through, Heslop told him, "OK, Mr. C, I've got my colleague Maddie on the line now and she'll help you with your cancellation." Oh, I love it. Furious Mr. Knott of Blackburn complained to the broadband giant and obtained a tape recording of the vile comment. Wow, I would love a tape recording. Well, the coolest things I had, and I don't have it anymore, is I once got attacked at Victoria train station. Nutjob just came up and smacked me in the face, and I went flying back and knocked myself out.
Really?
Yeah, years ago. And the police got me the stills from the CCTV footage, and it's brilliant. You see a bloke coming towards me, you see fist pulled back, fist going forward, me lying on the floor. It was great. It was a great little flip book. PlusNet apologised and offered him £250 plus 6 months free internet. It confirmed that Heslop has now been sacked.
I wouldn't mind anyone calling me anything for that kind of a bargain. 250 quid.
Well, I've been called a C a lot in my life. If I had 250 quid...
Every time?
Every time. Then, I'd be a very wealthy man. I'd have about 2,250 quid by now. That's not bad going. No, that's not bad going at all. Feel the vibe dropping, guys. We were in for a lock-in, and now the vibe is dropping a little bit. So I don't know if we do...
If the vibe is dropping, there won't be a lock-in.
That's how it works, guys. 0344 499 1000. Here we go. Now, this ties in with sex bots. Live-in libido lower. Oh, that's good.
Well done.
That is good.
Which paper is this?
I didn't guess The Sun.
Well done, The Sun.
I didn't get that until I read that out loud. Live-in libido lower.
Mm-hmm.
Women go off nookie.
Mm.
Don't rush to shack up. Women are much more likely to lose interest in sex if they move in with their fellas. Experts warn. What do you mean experts? Everyone knows. That's everyone knows that, don't they? Sorry, we're keeping you awake, Catherine.
I'm just doing an impression of the non-interested woman.
A lot of yawning going on in that corner. A study of 10,000 Brits aged 16 to 74 showed 39% of women living with partners had little interest in lovemaking.
Oh.
That compared with 23% living separately. Yet the gap was much smaller with men, where the figures were 16 and 12% respectively. It is a faff, isn't it? It really is a faff, sex. I can't be bothered these days. Lead researcher Professor Cynthia Graham of Southampton University's Centre for Sexual Health Research, or FWA, said, running a household and becoming a mother can take its toll on women's sex drives. She said the findings are intriguing. Women's sex drives, I don't know what accent that is, may fall when they cohabit due to fatigue. There is quite a lot of evidence of women taking on more at home than men. Also, people make less effort on both sides. I think that's a key thing, is the less effort.
Also, if you are knackered, then...
You're programmed, aren't we? We're genetically programmed to make babies. Men to sow their seed, and women to have seed implanted in their rich, fertile...
receive the seed.
To recede. So that's why relationships at the start, the first 6 months, year, it's all it's all that, and it's God, I want you, yeah, and then that goes, that goes, because by then you should have
job done.
Well, no, by then you should have created, according to our Neanderthal brains, you should have created a baby. So then you got on with the providing, but then a little while later, the man's brain reawakens. Oh, I must go and put my seed in another woman's vagina, let's say, or which is why I think sex bots are the way forward. Yeah.
Isn't it a way of cementing a relationship though? Afterwards, it is a bonding thing, isn't it?
I wouldn't use it as cement. It's not that sticky.
Oh God,
Rob.
Good evening.
Good evening, Rob.
How are you, Ian?
I'm all right, mate. I've got terrible stomachache actually, but I'm fine.
Only a few minutes to go. Not too long.
Well, you say that.
You say that. We might go on past 1 o'clock. We might have a lock-in.
Like it.
No.
So I phoned you last Friday because I've been playing a game on Facebook which was TV programmes mixed with British towns.
Oh, I didn't like this game. I hated this game. Everyone was good at this game.
Excellent at it.
Everyone was good at this game except for me.
So I've been doing it every Friday for the last 3 weeks. I'm looking for a good topic for tomorrow. Different topic every week. So it was, first of all, it was pudding-based bands, and then it was something else. So tomorrow I was looking at something else. I was wondering if it feels like a good radio topic.
Gosh, your Friday nights really are buzzing, aren't they?
It's Friday afternoon into Friday evening. It's the whole PM spectrum.
Okay.
So I was thinking potentially it could be popular music songs combined with popular brands. What do you think? Does that work? Hit me gravy one more time. That's not quite there, is it?
Frosty's the Snowman?
Yeah. It's not strongest category I've ever picked.
No.
I thought you might be inspired.
Ice cream tea.
What?
Yeah, he's talking about pop groups with desserts. Ice cream tea.
Pop songs. I think songs.
Songs. Okay. Ice cream baby by Vanilla Ice Cream. Yeah.
Gravy. No.
She loafs you.
Gravy.
What?
She loafs you.
What's that? It's not a pudding. It's got to be pudding. Songs with puddings in.
A loaf, malt loaf.
It doesn't have to pudding.
You said pudding. You said songs with puddings in.
No, that was original. That was the original one.
That's right. Though, I'm trying to do that one. Hang on.
I just think food brands in general might work.
Okay.
So
Mean Mr. Custard. Mean Mr. Custard by the Beatles. There we go. I've genuinely got
brand
one.
Name, love.
No, what do you mean it's not a brand name?
He says he needs
No, I'm not talking about brand. I'm still doing pop songs with puddings in.
You're playing the wrong game.
No, that's the game I'm playing. That's the one he mentioned first, and that's my brain switched off after that. I thought, right, I think I can do this one. Mean Mr. Custard.
It's good. Penny Sweet Rain.
Penny Sweet. No, Penny Sweet isn't a thing. That's nonsense.
Love Hardly Do.
Daydream Topping Believer. Dream Topping is a pudding, isn't it? Dream Topping.
That's pretty good.
Oh, it's not. It's not. Stop saying it's good. It's not. It's awful.
What about instead of Afternoon Delight, Angel Delight? It's not quite there, though, is it?
Yeah.
Anyway, anything you can come up with.
Just be quiet. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. Spotted.
He's got his concentration face on, eyes closed.
Oh, hang on. I've got one. Is apple rollover a thing?
If you want.
Apple rollover Beethoven.
Beethoven, yeah.
Apple rollover's a thing, isn't it?
Turnover, but it's
nuts! Is it? No. Don't patronise.
You could have. No, I've got it. Arctic rollover Beethoven.
Last rollover Beethoven.
Oh, I've got a good one. Pie of the Tiger, and I came up with that myself.
Yeah, there's a lot of pie ones you can do.
Yeah, the pie one's a rubbish one, actually. Sam sent me that on the screen. The stupid one, Sam. You're a boy.
Idiot.
You're a boy playing a man's game, Sam.
You could do. I'm desperate to find one that includes the word ginsters, but it's not easy.
Mate, we're doing puddings in songs,
oh,
right?
Okay,
just don't mess with this.
Okay, puddings in songs.
Okay, here we go.
I want to be good at one of these.
Yeah, we all do. We all want that for you.
Baked to last driving in my car?
No.
Baked to last, no.
If we're doing a lock-in until I get a good one of these.
Oh, God.
Could be a long night, guys.
I've got to take the kids to school.
If only you could do custard Tart Garfunkel. It's not quite there, though.
No, it's not.
So, no, it's a different game.
Can you please be quiet, Rob, until you've got a really strong one, mate? I can't even think of a dessert.
Chocolate mousse.
Yeah.
Angel, do you like my fire?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's good. That's
one,
fair play.
mate.
That's excellent.
That is
Pretty
very good, Rob.
Yeah.
Well done, buddy.
I think you might have won.
Well, I hate these games. I hate Rob. These games.
I mean, he's
I
not
hate
a
you,
popular
mate.
man, is he?
I really hate you.
Not a popular man.
Let me think of a pudding. Crumble in the Jungle. Crumble in the Jungle with Muhammad Ali.
No.
Oh, it's not a song, is it? It's got to be a song. There's got to be a song. Right, there'll be a song with the word rumble in. Put the word crumble in. There we go.
Let's get ready to crumble.
There we go. Thank you. There we go. So I've done one, Rob. Yeah? Thanks very much. Get lost. I hate him.
Rob.
Hate him.
Such an idiot.
He's a troll. That is trolling what he was doing
I'm glad
there.
he's not my Facebook friend.
He's a troll.
Imagine that.
0344
Friday.
499 1000. Everyone's welcome except for trolls.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We'll get you talking.
Evening, Clive.
Evening.
Evening, Clive.
Rock and Profita roll around the clock.
Oh.
Stop it.
Right, now.
Banned.
That is double trolling, Clive, and you know exactly why, buddy. I don't even need to say it. That is double trolling, all right? You are that is a yellow card. You are on very, very thin ice.
Do you know what? I was listening to the previous call and I was sketching those down, and that's the only one. And it was only afterwards, the name we don't mention, it came up, and I was like, oh God, it was him.
Very move along, very sharpish, Sunshine, because you are on very thin ice. We nearly made it 2 shows without a mention of the BH. We have to reset the BH clock again because of Clive.
Well, BH to me says Buddy Holly, so, you know.
Don't bring him up either.
No, I like Buddy Holly. Buddy Holly is proper rock and roll.
Buddy Holly.
Well, I got to say, yeah, I don't ring up moaning about him, do I? I love him.
Yep.
So.
Just honestly,
change the subject, mate.
You can't take a hint, this fella.
Just move on.
Move along, buddy. Move along. By the way, Barbara on Twitter. This is great. It's a song by Ultravox. Viennetta. Oh, come on, Barbara!
Wins.
Well done, Barbara. That is superb. Excellent gameplay there. Well done.
And she came in out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Got to be a winner, that.
Clive.
Yes, Clive.
Well, no, I also had Donovan and Mellow Yellow Custard.
Yeah, we got. Well, yeah, no one says yellow custard.
Well, you can't have yellow custard. Well, no, you can get green custard.
You get brown custard, pink custard, you get all kinds of custard. But no one says, oh, I fancy some yellow custard. Hey, I tell you what, I'm on a diet, right? But I went home last night, and for the last 3 nights, there's been a full unopened tub in the fridge of Waitrose Madagascar vanilla custard,
yes.
right? And I take it out and I look at it, and the date is the had the 14th on it, right? I took it out Monday. I thought, nah, can't do that. Took it out Tuesday. I thought, I cannot do that. Took it out last night. I went, sod this. Cracked it open, 3/4 of it. It's so Moorish. I'll just have one more. I'll just have one. Oh man, it was delicious. I was like a pig eating slops. It was everywhere, Clive.
But it would have been, you would have been all right. You wouldn't have died off eating it after a couple of days over the date, would you?
Oh no, it was just on the date yesterday. It was just on the date, but oh man alive, I'm trying to lose weight, and then God puts that temptation in my way. What am I supposed to do, Clive? I'm just a human being.
Well, just do it. Just indulge it. Well, based on the news, which I heard breaking on your show. Sorry, something just clicked in my head, about the Korea thing,
yes.
Then we're going to die anyway, so just eat it, fill your boots, have it.
He's right. If we imagine dying when you're imagine like the world gets destroyed and you're on a diet, wouldn't that be just the worst? So there's a nuclear holocaust and you're on a diet. So you've spent like the last 3 weeks not eating all those good things, and then you get killed by nuclear fallout anyway. And it make you sick.
Life is so very cruel.
No, nuclear fallout actually would make you violently sick, and then you would die. Your hair and your teeth would fall out, and your eyes would melt, and you'd stop breathing. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. You're right, Clive.
But you would be thin.
Yep. Yep.
So.
Oh yeah, just eat it all. What I was ringing about, if that was all right, I've not seen this, so you might have discussed this in the previous weeks, was I finally watched, over the past 2 days, Cheap.
Oh, now, I've not seen it. What do you reckon?
Do you know, because I thought, with due respect to Barry from the Watford, I thought it might be a bit ropey from what I read.
Yeah.
And the fact I've watched 2, it's actually super addictive. And it's very funny. And Noel Edmonds is a bit blue.
Is he?
Well, yesterday he made a joke. Somebody was doing a plane impression, and it's obviously all scripted, obviously, isn't it? But he identified a plane as a Fokker.
Oh, well, that's what got Stan Boardman banned from TV.
Oh,
Stan Boardman never worked again on TV after that.
No, well, he's doing it now. And then he asked the young lady to, he said, look at my hair, because she was stroking his hair weirdly.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll tell you what, give me a tug on television. I was like, there's no need for that, is there?
Well, grannies love that kind of stuff. That's the audience they're going to. I do know that Barry is very upset by the negative press that it has been getting, but I mean, I've not seen an episode. I don't really watch TV. I've seen clips of it. It looks all right.
It's not the worst, because from what and again, this is like the thing about not believing what you read. I honestly thought this is going to be appalling, the worst TV show ever. And do you know what? I'm sure you both could. There were about 95 million shows much worse than Cheap.
Yeah.
And it's entertaining, and it's funny. So,
can I just tell you this from Al? A boy named Tiramisu.
Oh,
that is masterful. Clive, we've got some proper clever people listening to this show. They're not phoning in, but they're listening.
My brain doesn't work that quick. I can't work that.
I can't do that. I once got in. It was in joining a conversation between Thomas Walsh, who phones the show occasionally, and Andy Partridge, and they were punning. It was like pun wars, and they were boom, boom. Both of them are so clever with words and puns and turning things around. And I was just sat there going, don't know how to, can't join in. I'm afraid, guys. You got me on this one, guys.
I'm more of a carry-on guy. Sorry, and this is not to drag it out to a lock-in, by the way. The other thing I did was something you said the other week struck a chord in my head.
Yes.
I thought, and I was reading all about Laurel and Hardy, and I was absolutely fascinated by it.
Go on, which bit? He wrote all the films, didn't he, Stan Laurel?
Yeah, I didn't realise that he was. I knew he was from sort of my part, from Cumbria, wasn't it?
Yep.
And how they ended up together, and the fact that he wrote so much, and then I started. But you know, when again, good pun. But when you go down the rabbit hole and you start googling all these things, and I thought, was there ever any colour footage of them? And because the original films were never colourised, but there is colour footage of them, isn't there?
Well, the original films they have colorised them, haven't they? Using that awful colorisation technique, and I refuse to watch it because I want to see them in black and white because they were shot to be screened in black and white. There is a little bit of colour footage of them, isn't it? But not like in a movie. It's like a press reel or something, isn't it?
What I saw when I was digging through, there was like some home movie footage, and Oliver Hardy looked really, really thin, so I think it was quite near the end.
Yeah.
But I didn't realise he'd lost so much weight. And then there was, what else was there? There was a film that they're in for about 15 minutes that apparently is lost completely, but some clips have appeared somewhere, but I couldn't find them. But I just found it amazing. I was watching, I think it was a film on Talking Pictures TV, which is what prompted me. I was thinking, Iain said about that, blah, blah, blah. And, the comedy timing was superb.
It's a masterclass. There was an article in the paper the other day. Why we still find Laurel and Hardy amusing 100 years on? Because they're funny. Because this is just funny. It's timeless. The only thing that might put off young people watching it is it's black and white, and young people. Some young people have a problem with black and white, but it's not topical. There's a little bit of topicality because some of those films from the 20s, they're poor because of the crash and all of that. But it's not really topical. It's just funny, man. And for me, it's my favourite bits. I was watching a Dunce at Oxford. And I love all the talking, all the stuff. My favourite bits are when they're sat down next to each other, not saying anything. And there's a bit, and it goes on for ages, where they're Stan's getting out their lunch, their packed lunch. And he's got 2 hard-boiled eggs, and he gives one to Ollie, and he's got his boiled egg, and he kind of polishes it on his sleeve, and then he cracks it on his knee, and then he peels it open, and Ollie's looking at him, and he gets his egg, and he rubs it on his sleeve, and he cracks it on his knee, and of course it breaks, because it's not boiled. And he looks at his knee for a second, then he just looks up at the camera, and just pulls that face of, I've done this 100 times. And it's just so delicious. Oliver Hardy's looks to camera, I think, are my favourite things in Laurel and Hardy films, because it's just that tired, oh God, not again. It's wonderful, wonderful.
Well, I did read as well, and it's funny because, obviously, I think I've mentioned maybe on your show before that I'm a bit of a Beatles fan. The thing about, what you were saying about the misquote about, John saying Ringo wasn't even the best drummer in the Beatles.
Yeah.
Is apparently Oliver Hardy never said, did he? That's another fine mess you got me into. He never said it. It was always a misquote, and I didn't know that unless.
Oh, I don't know. But quite possibly, just like Barry Norman never said. What was it? He never said, "I'm going to kill your mother." He never said that. And why not? That was Rory Bremner, wasn't it?
And what was the other one? There was another one that I thought of. The weird one is Michael Caine, who apparently never said,
And not a lot of people know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Catherine. But apparently he never did, and the only time he said it was when he did the single with Madness, because people thought he said it, and he never did. Apparently.
I nearly called you by the wrong name now. I do apologise, Clive. No, that's and don't do it again. Clive, nice to talk to you, mate.
And you.
Ta-ta, thank you very much indeed. Talking Pictures TV, by the way, is that's a great channel, which I've only dipped into. But guys, Talking Picture guys, get me in there. Get me in there in some capacity. I'll come and work for pennies. Get me in there. I want to go through your archives and see what you got. 0344 499 1000. Stu, then Raymond, and then it could be you, dear listener.
Experience the unconventional.
Hello.
The unpredictable.
Don't you think that's a bit weird?
And the completely unorthodox.
It was my birthday.
With rule-free Iain Lee.
I was just trying to generate a bit of content.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
Hate alarm clock. Hate going to work.
On Talk Radio.
Okay, Paul Garner's playing, and Paul Garner is a professional comedy scriptwriter.
Is it fair that he plays?
Eton Trifles, Eton Trifles.
Excellent.
We've got Steve Henn has also said that. What else have we got? Carol, sweet dreams are made of cheesecake. No. I like you, Carol, but I don't like you that much. Sorbet seems to be the hardest word. Lucy in the Sky with Donuts. That's from Lance, who works in Waterstones. You have sullied the good name of one of this country's finest bookstores, Lance.
Go to bed, Lance.
Yeah, sweet. Here we go. Easy like Sunday morning.
Sunday with an E.
Here we go.
Oh, yes.
Well done, Steve. A boy named, for me, it's Boy Named Tiramisu by Al. And what was Barbara's? Viennetta by Ultravox. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's go to James. Evening, James.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, mate.
Hiya, I've got Rocker Eatin' Mess Boogie.
Sorry?
Rocker Eatin' Mess Boogie.
What is it meant to be?
Rocker Beatin' Boogie.
Well, hang on. You're just putting the word. You're just putting the word eaten. You're putting the words eaten mess in the middle of a sentence.
Rocker Eatin' Mess Boogie.
Oh no, Catherine, am I being harsh on this poor soul that's called in?
No, he's a wally.
Ian, I have a joke that's gonna push this show. It's dipped a little bit, but it's gonna push it into lock-in territory.
You reckon?
Okay.
Oh, also, by the way, you know who did Rocker Beatin' Boogie, don't you? You know what this guy's doing.
Mate! Are you doing this? Right, can we not mention Bill Haley on this show anymore?
Stop it.
Stop mentioning him. I don't want anything to do with the loser. Right, this joke is either gonna create a lock-in or it's gonna prevent a lock-in. James, over to you. Bearing in mind I hate jokes.
Right. What's Whitney Houston's favourite kind of coordination?
Oh God! I don't know if we can. Can we? I don't think we can tell this joke.
And I...
Oh, actually, I quite like that.
I quite like that.
Yeah.
Lock in.
Hit the button.
Yes.
Time, ladies and gentlemen, please, for another one. Dim the lights, draw the curtains and charge your glasses. This is a hashtag radio lock-in with the landlord of the late shift, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
James, we're having a lock-in, buddy.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. The show goes... They're good, they are. We got a few of them. They're good. The show goes on after 1 o'clock. So get your phone calls in, 0344 499 1000. Good evening, Stu.
Hello, mate.
Hello, Stu.
Yeah, great show as always.
Thank you, buddy.
Sitting on the dock of Sorbet.
You said that so reluctantly. It's always like your missus said, yeah, I got one. Go on, phone in with this. He'll like this. I don't want to. Go on, phone in with it,
And
Stu.
make sure you sing it.
Yeah, go on, it'll be good, that. Yes, we can have sitting on the dock of Sorbet.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's
God
quite
for
nice.
that.
Yeah.
God.
Well done.
All right, can I just talk about Viennetta? I thought that was a really good call, Ultravox, but it means nothing to me.
Thank you very much indeed, Stu. All right, okay, you're pushing it now. There is
Can
something...
we track the lock-in?
Here's the thing, right? And Raymond, I'll come to you in a second. There ain't much better than a Viennetta, really. That should have been their slogan. There ain't much better than a Viennetta.
Yeah, but they were going posh.
Well, Viennetta used to be posh, didn't it? It was what us working class kids thought was a posh.
We'd have it at Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
We had it for special occasions, but now since then, I have, as an adult, polished off a whole Viennetta in one sitting.
You animal.
It's that crack of the chocolate as you cut it. I could do a whole Viennetta, because they're not that big.
We knew it was a party if there was Viennetta and Sara Lee, that chocolate cake that was always frozen in the middle.
Yeah.
And we never quite defrosted it in time.
I tell you what I never liked, and it was a very 70s thing, and I'm glad it's gone, because I never liked it. Black Forest Gatto. It was a big thing in the 70s. If my parents had dinner parties, which was very rarely on the Britwell estate in Slough, but occasionally they did, Black Forest Gatto. And it looks delicious, because it looks like a big chocolate cake, but it's not. It's all like dark cherries and syrupy and, it's a disgusting thing. Absolutely disgusting. That's another thing we've got to blame the Germans for. Good evening, Raymond.
Oh.
Hello?
No.
Not happening, buddy. I'm not doing it. Shake, rattle, and profiterole.
Right, you're bad. I'm not. Can we just stop mentioning Bill Bloody Haley?
I don't think that was him, was it?
Shake. Yes, it was. Yeah.
Shake, rattle, and roll.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes. He did it. Really annoys me mentioning that idiot.
Because they know what they're doing. They're triggering the bat signal.
They're trolling, mate.
And there's only 2 people who respond to it, and they'll be on all night.
They're trolling me. It's actual trolling, right? And I don't know if it's illegal yet, but they should make it illegal, because that is trolling. But I'm in such a good mood, we're still going to have a lock-in. Their recent bust-up with frontman Tony Hadley brought back memories of their feud in the 90s. Why did Tony Hadley leave Spandau Ballet again?
I think he thinks he can do better.
No, there's got to be more to it than that, because they fell out big style and they all sued each other, and Tony Hadley sued them because he wanted writing credit and he didn't get it. I've met Tony, he used to live near me, he's a really nice bloke, and he did a TV show with me once. Really nice bloke. Tall, big man, very broad shoulders.
He's like a 1950s man, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. It's a great voice. Oh, it's a great voice, Tony Hadley's voice. I love that voice. And I like the kind of slick style that he has. I think he's a good performer. But then they got back together again and did a new album and did a world tour and all of that.
That song was all right. They did as well.
Yeah. And it was all, and I saw them on telly acting the giddy goats like these pop stars do. It was all over the shop. And then he kind of just tweeted, "I've left Spandau Ballet. No further comment, please." And everyone's going, "What? What?" And I think Spandau Ballet are going, "What? What have you done that for, Tone?" Strange. But Spandau Ballet aren't dwelling on the past. The reformed pop icons recently announced they've parted ways with their longtime singer, and now in an exclusive interview they reveal the search for a replacement is underway. In a telling comment about their frustration, they insist they want somebody better. Ooh. Bass player and EastEnders icon Martin Kemp revealed, "To tell you the truth, we're going back into the rehearsal room in a couple of weeks to try out some new singers." Hey! Me?
Don't.
No, get me in there. I met a boy called Frank Mills. You are gold. Always believe in our souls. You got the power to know you're indestructible. Always believe in you are. Boom, 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 boom. Slightly a little bit too high for me there. I'll have to come down a semitone. It's time to move on, and we're ready to get things moving pretty fast. For me, come on now, this is a lie. And I'm going to read you a lie now from Martin Kemp. Okay, I don't want to libel anyone, but this next sentence from Martin Kemp is a lie. For me, this is probably the most excited I've been about the band for a long time. No. Surely it was when you had your first number one hit, or you got your first record deal, or when you got back together for a world. Surely it was then. We've got all of this freedom of not having a singer. Great liberation for a band, that.
To be only more exciting by not having a band.
Yep. We don't know what's lying ahead, and it's exciting. Martin's brother and songwriter Gary Kemp revealed they even had celebrity offers for the job, including one from James Corden.
Oh. I hear Barry from EastEnders is free.
Gary joked, I was at a party on the day Tony made his announcement when James and Rob Brydon came up to me and started singing Twoo to me really enthusiastically. But they were quite shocked, actually. Sources say the band, above in their 80s heyday with Tony, even planned to film the rehearsal process knowing it could make a great TV show in the future. Well, hang on a second. Yeah, it's going to be a Saturday night TV show called Gold, !
Or True.
Yeah, or True, or Through the Barricades. And
that's all 3 songs, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. A preview of their new documentary film, Through the Barricades.
It's going to be True or Gold.
So there's a new because they did a documentary film, The Kings of the Western Frontier or something. It's on Netflix. This is quite good. It's quite good. I enjoyed that. So there's a new documentary film, Through the Barricades. Gary insists Take That have proved the loss of a member doesn't have to be the end. Yeah, but they
keep getting him back in.
Yeah, and also they all sang in Take That.
Also, the one that left permanently was kind of the interchangeable one anyway.
Gary added, nobody thought that Take That could do it once Robbie Williams left. Well, they couldn't initially. They did that awful Bee Gees cover, then they called it a day. They did. We've got the name, the songs, and the sound, and I'm looking forward to getting together in a rehearsal room and making music again. Drummer, name the drummer.
Steve.
John Keeble.
John.
Added, yeah, it's an opportunity. People see it as a problem. We don't. That's fine. Yeah, people see it as a problem. The singer leaving. Of course they do. We don't. That's fine. How is that fine?
Just kiss and make up, guys. Stop pretending.
If Tony don't want to do it, then whatever.
Whatever.
Here we go. We'll get someone better.
Oh.
Flipping it. I'd love to know what happened between those guys. I would love to know what happened. It just needs to be someone who fits in. Everyone wants to do it. The phone hasn't stopped ringing. And then then Dan Wooten, who writes the bizarre column, says,
do the voice.
Maybe I'll throw my hat in the ring too.
Uncanny.
Unbelievable. Guys, we're having a lock-in. It's the second time this has ever happened on British radio, and what a surprise. Both times it's happened on this show. The show has got a strong vibe. What's the point of finishing at 1 o'clock? If you want to listen to some sad sacks talking boring stuff about football, then you've got to retune to Talk Sport, because we are carrying on past 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock? There's a Freudian slip.
Oi.
We are carrying on. It's a cock-in we're having, guys. Is what I'm trying to say, okay? You can still call in. I'll tell you what we'll do, actually, because we haven't... This will be a first. We'll do calls straight to air after 1 o'clock. Let's see what happens there. We might get none, we might get extra weirdness. So if you want to call in, I'll give you the number in a bit. My name is Iain Lee. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio.
Free suckers! Nobody move! This whole area is on lockdown for the next hour. Investigate arresting late night entertainment and criminally good conversation with duty sergeant of the night shift, Iain Lee. This is a hashtag radio knocking on Talk Radio. You going nowhere, fool? I ain't had enough of your jibber jabber yet.
Yeah, that's a white man doing a black man's voice. That's absolutely fine. Listen, the show is carrying on. If you're hoping to listen to some sports drones buzzing away about football, you have to go to the other place. We're here for a little... Hello. Oh, there was a news tone, guys. Some people genuinely get excited by hearing the IRN news tone or Sky news tone, or whatever it is these days. They get a little bit hot under the.
What do they call that? Pink noise?
They call it something. I'm just wondering. I've left it in my car.
What?
Hang on a minute. I think I took it out because I cleaned a load of stuff out of my car. Yeah, I've left my tiny little radio. I was gonna flick through the shortwave.
I'll go and get it if you want.
No, it's not. No. Maybe I'll bring it in tomorrow. It might not work particularly well in there, because of all the electrical equipment. Dear listener, the show is on for a little bit longer. We're going to take calls straight to air for a bit, if you want. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. You can call in, you can make funny noises, you can make serious points, you can do whatever you want. I don't think it's going to be a particularly late lock-in tonight. I'm just feeling that there's been such a strong vibe that I thought we'd carry on a little bit longer. Just looking at some of these. Carol, Fairy Cake of New York. No, I don't think Carol's got this. No. I don't want to put you down, Carol, but no. Tit says Tart Break Hotel. Paul Garner, again, Total Eclipse of the Tart. He's also done Don't Dream It's Pavlova. I've told him to go to bed. I think a man of his age and his talent would be best served
with some rest.
Having a little bit of a rest. I think that would easily be the best thing. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. You do not have to if you don't want to. Oh, there's now one of my favourite entertainers, David Copperfield. I love David Copperfield, the magician, not the medallion man from Three of a Kind.
Okay. Or the Dickensian character.
Here's a picture of him. He's going a bit thin on top.
He's not.
Here's a picture of him from 10 years ago.
Oh,
you see
right,
it?
yes.
Yeah. Here's a picture of him. Got to do it so you can see it properly. Here's a picture of him from this year.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't it?
Wow.
Isn't it?
He really is magic.
Isn't it? He's got a huge bouffant. I mean, a ridiculous bouffant. It's kind of the hair that a 9-year-old boy has.
Definitely.
That's incredible, isn't it? I love David Copperfield. I know everyone thinks he's cheesy. I want my magicians to be cheesy. I like Pete Heat, who's not cheesy at all, but I like that. He
owned the cheesiness, didn't he? He used to revel in it.
Oh, he's brilliant. I just remember showing the boys some of his stuff about a year ago, and we were just all blown away by him. Hello, Line 1, you're on the air.
Hello, Ian. This is Julie. Mindle.
Hello, Mindle.
Hello. You were speaking earlier about a fight that you were in that was caught on CCTV.
Say that again. The what?
Well, you were talking about you were in a fight that was caught on camera on CCTV.
Oh no, I was in a fight today. I was in.
No, you're talking about the attack at Victoria.
Oh, that. Oh yeah, no, I was in an argument today, a good old-fashioned argument today in the car park that wasn't caught on camera, unfortunately. But yes, I got knocked out on CCTV in Victoria Station. Yes.
But you saying, unfortunately, the argument today wasn't caught on CCTV.
Yes.
It just reminded me of once I was at Charing Cross Station and I slipped on a patch of tea and slipped and knocked out 3 or 4 people.
Wow.
Completely straight down
like Skittles.
And I wish that it had been caught on CCTV.
You slipped on did you say you slipped on a patch of tea?
Tea, yes.
A patch of tea.
Not a puddle or a...
It was a patch of tea, a tea patch.
A patch of puddle.
Wowzers.
Of tea.
Wow.
And as I sleep, I took out 3 or 4 people.
That's the most British accident ever.
Yeah, well, that's incredible. No, I had a proper Barney. I had a proper Barney with some bloke downstairs.
What about?
Well, here's the thing, right? The car park at Talk Radio is very small, okay? And there's a spot I've parked in pretty much ever since I've been here, right? Park in this one spot pretty much ever since I've been here, March last year. But today I came in early because I had a really important meeting, then I was off to meet Clive, and sometimes I do come in early to go off and pre-record interviews with people. And so I parked in this spot at about 1:30. And I went off and had my meeting. Then I went off and saw my friend Clive Bull. And then I got back about 5:30. And I had to get some stuff out of my car. And I got to my car, and I saw two things. The first thing I saw was that someone had parked a giant Porsche right up my arse, touching my back bumper, right?
Touching bumpers?
Touching the back bumper. But in doing so, he had blocked the entrance to the car park, so no one could get past him. This was near the top of the car park. No one could get past him to get to the well of the car park. And so James Whale had parked his car behind him, so it was blocked, right? So I thought, oh, that's annoying. The second thing I noticed was, leaning against my car were loads of wooden pallets. So my car was completely surrounded by pallets and bins, right? And I should have taken a picture of the pallets and the bins. I didn't. Instead, what I did, thinking somebody might be watching me who had done this, is I shrugged my shoulders and started whistling. And I moved all of the stuff away from the car and threw it on the floor out of the way, whistling. I tried to open my boot. I couldn't because the car behind me was so close. So I moved it forward an inch, opened the boot, got what I needed out, closed the boot, reversed it back, touching bumpers again. Then I went round to the front of the building to speak to Dan, who's the security guy. Lovely bloke, really nice bloke. Like Dan a lot. And I said, here, Dan, what has parked their car right up my arse? He said, what do you mean? I said, some bloke has parked his car right up my arse, lent loads of pallets against it. I mean, it's a battered old Polo, you know, but it's the principle. Lent loads of I can see loads of people calling in. I will get to you in a bit. Lent loads of pallets against it and blocked the car park so no one can get in. And this was before all the night shift came in, so there'd be about 5 or 6 cars, including Kath's and all the producers and presenters for Talk Sport. And he went, all right, I'll have a look and see if I can find out whose car it is. And then as I walked away, some old boy came in, right? And I just had an inkling that this old boy was connected with it. So I went round the corner and I listened. And the old boy's going, well, it's a new building has opened up next door to us, right? And this old boy works. He says, well, the boss of the building next door is furious because someone's parked in his parking space. And I'm listening, I'm thinking, right. And he said, so he's gone off to the theatre, but he said he's parked there and he's furious. And so I went round, I went, hands up, it's my car. I'm really, really sorry. Totally my fault. I didn't know this, right? I didn't know that there were separate spaces. I just thought everyone parked where everyone could get. I didn't know that part of the car park is ours and part of it is theirs. I didn't know that. And because this building next door's been empty for the best part of a year, it's never been an issue. And this guy was being a bit funny, and I said, well, you know, that's going to cause problems for everyone else. Could you phone up your boss and see if he can come and do it? And the bloke was getting a bit funny. And so I went, look, mate, I'm not being rude, right? But your boss has piled loads of pallets against my car. That is not the act of a dignified man of business. That's the act of a twat. And he's been an absolute dick. It was a mistake. It was an error. He is now going to ruin the parking for about 7 or 8 people. Is he happy with that? So then he phoned up his boss. And he put the phone down and said, well, the boss says he's too far away. He's at the theatre. He's too far away. I went, well, your boss is an idiot then. And I stormed off. And then I came upstairs and I'm mouthing off to James Whale because he'd parked his car and all of this. And then 20 minutes later, Dan phoned up from reception. He said, right, the bloke's turned up. And I said, all right. He said he reckons James can get his car past his. I said, he can't. He's blocked. He's totally blocked it. There's no way anyone can get a car past that. I said, we'll go down and we'll sort it out. So me and James then go down. I'm furious, right? I'm furious. Because he could have got past me, Julie. He just chose not to.
Yeah.
He's made a point.
Oh, my God, it's so embarrassing, though.
Oh, it's awful. And it's
him, I mean.
And Denny, our boss, came... Said, I better come with you. I said, don't worry, Denny, it'll be fine. And it was going to be fine. I wasn't going to go down there with an attitude, although I was angry. Yeah. Then he said, I'll come with you. So we got downstairs in the car park, and there's this old boy in a suit. And we walk up to him. As we walk up to him, I go, mate, hands up. It's my fault. I'm really, really sorry. I didn't know there was segregated parking. Is this your car? I said, yeah, and I'm really sorry. I literally, I've just found out. You effing idiot. I've effing told everybody. I've been told time and time again that everyone in that effing building has been told that they can't park there. I said, mate, I did not know until an hour ago that I was not allowed to park there. You've parked like an absolute twit. That wasn't a twit. I said, you've parked like an absolute twit. And hang on a second. I've come to a part. I'm getting furious. Kath knows this anger that I'm talking about, right? I said, I've just apologised to you, and you've come straight out with all having a go at me. How dare you? And another thing, what gives you the right to put pallets against my car? I know it's a crappy Polo, but you don't put pallets. I never put pallets against your car. I said, yes, you effing well did. He said, listen, sunshine, you have been, and James and Denny have just stood there, right, and it's getting tense. And he starts swearing at me. I said, I tell you what, mate, why don't you put your dick away, start waving it all over the place. I will move my car, you will move your car, and we can sort this out. And then he said something else, right, and I don't remember what he said. And it's 1:15. We're going to use adult language, right? I said, all right, sunshine, stop being Barry Big Bollocks and F off. Right? God. And then he said, right, right, you can all F off. I'm leaving my car here.
You F off. No, you F off.
And he walks off. And so at this point, I get in the car, because now I'm fuming, right? And I think, shut up, Ian, shut up. Get in the car, drive it down the other end of the car park, let Danny... And as he says, I'm going to F off, you can leave my car here, James went, actually, I don't think you're going to leave your car here. I think you're going to move it, right? So James kind of steps in. And so I drive off. And I park the car and I stay in the car for about 20 seconds to try and calm down, right? And I get out and I think, just walk back in the building. I don't. I walk back towards them, right? And I can see James is getting in his car. And Denny's, Denny, you can see why Denny is management and I am what we call talent. And Denny's calming. Denny's brilliant, right? He's a good boss. He's a good bloke and he's calming him down. And as I'm walking towards him, I'm saying, mate, I'm sorry. It was an accident. I'm not... He said, everyone's been emailed. I said, mate, I'm not on the emails. I'm not on the internal emails. I don't get those emails. I am sorry. It will never happen again. He went, all right. And then we shook hands, and then he high-fived me.
What?
And then he moved his car, and that was it. And here's what a great guy I am. I said, so, what play are you off to see tonight? He went, what? Because the boy earlier on had said he's off to see a play. What play? He said, I'm off to see Girl from the North Country. I said, the Bob Dylan thing. That'll be all right, that. He said, yeah. I said, we'll have a good night. And that was it. It was a proper, old-fashioned argument, the way my dad taught me to argue. Never any hint of violence. It was never going to escalate into violence. It was just swearing and shouting, and it ended with a handshake and a high five. It was wonderful,
And are you
Julie.
sure there's no CCTV? Because I would pay money
So
to
would
do
I.
that.
This is the annoying thing, right? I came back and there was a couple of people in the office and they said,
they'd taken
we
pictures.
were watching this. I went, I hope you filmed it. And they said, no, they took a couple of stills.
Yeah.
I mean...
It was a waste of
a floor full of journalists and no one thought to take a video.
Sports journalists. So there you go, Julie. Thank you. That was the argument today. What a load of fun. It was brilliant. I have not had an argument like that for a long time, and it was great. Absolutely great. Line 2, you're on the wireless. Turn your radio off.
No one's got to take a video. Sports journalist.
Line 2.
Thank you. That was the argument today. What?
They're a bit slow. Let's go to line 3. Line 3, you're on the wireless.
Achy, cakey heart.
Achy, cakey heart. Really?
What's wrong with that?
Go to bed.
Go to bed.
Disgust me.
Achy, cakey heart. Oh, Jesus. Right, Carol, she's eternal flambe.
Give it up, love.
Come on, Carol, please. I know you're a big supporter of my work, and I appreciate that. But no, we are not having eternal flambe on this flipping thing, all right? It's not happening. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number in this, the second ever British radio lock-in. A mum says her home was blood-spattered and trashed in a wild party after she rented it out through Booking.com, which I'm guessing is like Airbnb. Cafe owner Elam Govtepe, 35, agreed a £311 fee for a woman to stay in the 3-bed semi for a quiet weekend. But the ex-cop was stunned when neighbours rang her at her mother's to say up to 20 revellers were smoking cannabis and swinging vodka. Swigging vodka.
Did you see that tweet today of this comedian who stayed at the Airbnb?
Yeah.
And the complaint from the landlord?
This really long-winded complaint, and basically he'd moved a few jars and left a cupboard door open.
He'd not put the dining room chair back under the table.
And he said, I'm sorry, mate, for moving a cup and moving a chair and only paying you £365 for the privilege. Line 2, you're on the wireless.
Excuse me.
Hello?
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 Can you hear me?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Ben and Jerry's.
What?
I think we're naming desserts, aren't we?
Oh, God.
No. We're cleverly naming songs that sound a bit like desserts.
Oh, my God. We've got that wrong.
So what song sounds like Ben and Jerry's? Thanks very much for calling. Let's go to line 5. Line 5, you're on the wireless.
Hello, my name's David.
Hello, David.
I'd like to get some help in reuniting with some of my friends from the 70s and 80s who helped me when I was doing the bins around Westminster.
When you were doing what, sorry?
The bins. I used to work.
Oh, really?
Council, yeah.
Were you a bin man? That was in the old days when you had to lift the bins on your back, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Bloody hell.
I bet that was the toughest gig ever. You had to do this weird little movement where you had to bend round in front of it and kind of hoik it up on your back. I always thought that was an incredible manoeuvre.
Yes, and we should do the bids for Buckingham Paris.
No, you never did.
Did.
You did not do the Queen's bins.
Did the Queen's bins, and one night, do it about 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes, because you don't want to bother them in the morning.
No.
And we found some
go on,
glass beads, and I was convinced they was the Elgin marbles.
Hang on, the Elgin marbles. The Elgin marbles are massive, great slabs of rock, aren't they?
No. Well, but yeah, I found out subsequently. Yeah. At the time, we found these round balls of glass.
Yeah.
And we got me, Dave, and Sparky.
Sparky, yeah.
2 Daves.
I'm Dave.
Dave, and Sparky.
There was 3 Daves.
Flipping heck. That must have been confusing.
It's a common name.
It is actually. You know, you...
And we found. So I was convinced these were the Elgin marbles.
Yeah.
So I guess we're at the museum thing.
Yeah.
That one around the King's Cross.
Yep.
Turns up.
Is it?
Shows them the marbles.
Yes.
And they were like, no, these aren't old. These are like kids' marbles.
These are kids' marbles.
They've got a little swirl inside.
Yeah. How do they get that swirl inside those marbles, Dave?
I don't know. I think they grow something inside the glass.
They grow or blow?
Grow,
yes.
Like some sort of
herb.
Something like that.
Yeah. So who are you who are you trying to find from the 70s?
Dave.
Yep.
Dave.
Let me write these down. Hang on. Right, the first one was Dave. Who's the second person?
Dave.
Hang on. Yep.
Dave.
Yep.
And Sparky.
And just remind me of your name, fella.
Dave.
Okay, so if you are or you know either a Dave, a Dave,
right,
a Dave,
right,
or a Sparky who used to work on the bins in the 70s with Dave.
Westminster Borough Council.
Yep. Then 03444991000.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sparky.
Bye.
Bye. There we go. His name was Dave. Sorry, I got that wrong. Line 6, you're on the wireless.
Hiya, you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Well, I was ringing you to have a pop at you about Black Forest Gasso and about bands who've changed the lead singer. But whilst I was trying to ring you,
yes,
and I was on hold, the world's biggest spider, and this cat sees you might dump it. I've literally just shot myself.
Literally?
Because...
Did you literally?
There was a bit of leakage, yeah.
Oh,
God!
That is going. What happens to the country after 1 o'clock when we stop watching them?
Lets it go.
They can't handle. They can't look after themselves.
Well, I moved I had 2 towels, one on top of each other. I lifted the top towel,
yeah,
and there was the world's biggest spider. So I thought, right, well, what I'll do, this is so genuinely true. I thought, right, I'll go and get a bit of toilet paper, and I'll sneak up on it and capture it. But then it became like a bit of cat and mouse, and it's now scuttled under my PC, and I can't get to the little bugger.
Well, you lift up your PC then?
Well, I can't do that, can I? Because it's like running everything while I'm talking to you. Oh, I can't do it. But it's massive.
Man up. Man up. Line 8, you're on the wireless. Hello? Hello, your number ends 907.
I got to talk a bit quietly. Shh.
Okay, sorry.
Hello?
Yeah, why have you got to talk a bit quietly? Is your mum there?
No, I'm in the kitchen.
Okay.
She's upstairs. She doesn't... I don't want to wake her up.
No, okay, fine. What would you like to say, caller?
Oh, I don't know. I just phoned for a laugh.
Okay. Why are you up at 24 minutes past 1?
I couldn't sleep, mate.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Do you know, like about 10 years ago, I used to phone up and pretend to be Mel Gibson. Do you remember that? There was another guy who did Danny Glover. I'm the Mel Gibson.
Do you know, I do vaguely remember that. Funnily enough, I made Kath watch Saw tonight. I forgot that Danny Glover was in that.
Yeah, true story. Yeah, that was my little, that was my moment.
Oh, good for you, man. What have you been doing in the last 10 years, then?
Oh, just thinking about that.
Me too! It's exactly what I've been doing.
No, it didn't get any better than that, to be fair.
No, the same for me. My career's been all downhill since then.
Oh, shit, I think she's woken up.
All right, you better go then,
You're
mate.
in massive trouble.
Isn't it funny? After 1 o'clock, what people get up to. Oh, by the way, call straight to air for a little while longer. 0344 499 1000, radio lock-in.
10 years ago, Mel Gibson was still quite a serious actor, wasn't he?
I think he was an anti-Semite 10 years ago, wasn't he?
Was he?
It was a long time ago.
When did the sugar tits thing happen?
Oh, I don't know, but it was a long time ago. I made you watch Saw this evening.
Yeah,
it's a great film. I've not seen it for years, so I've forgotten most of the twists. I remember the twist about the guy lying on the floor, that it was him.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Well, it's an old film, but I'd forgotten most of the others, and it's a cracking movie, that.
That was one of those films. Thankfully, I hadn't heard any spoilers beforehand. I didn't really know what it was about, apart from I want to play a game, because it did spawn quite a nasty game that we used to play at Three Counties.
Horrible
but
game.
Not quite as nasty as the game he was playing.
Mainly about a thief that we used to work with. Isn't it?
In various scenarios. Yeah. We'll leave it there and you can use your imagination. Anyway, so it was one of those films where at the end of it you realise you haven't been breathing properly all the way through it. I'd been holding myself very, very carefully all the way through.
And here's what's great. We found... because I brought we watch it on my computer and that's too quiet. So I've got these little speakers I brought in. No, that's new. Then I remember that ages ago someone sent me these massive, they're quite big speakers. They're the size of like a VHS tape or something. Yeah. And so I brought them in, flipping it, they were loud. But then we found downstairs near Virgin Radio. By the way, I can say this, I think I've only got 2 more Virgin Radio shows left, because it was always going to be a trial thing and they want to go in a different direction and I might end up doing some more shows there, but there are only 2 more more Virgin Sundays for me, guys. So make sure you're listening to the last one, because I'm going to bring my own records in. But downstairs in Virgin, they have bands in, and they play inside this glass room. And now we know why. It's soundproofed. So we went in there, and you can draw a curtain all around it. So we turned the lights off, drew a curtain all around. We're in a soundproof blackout booth, watching a horror film at full volume.
For a moment, I thought you were going to say, I want to play a game.
I want to play a game. It was absolutely wonderful.
I literally didn't do what Kyle did, but I could have.
Hello, Line 1.
Yeah, I've got two things for you.
Okay, Line 1.
First one is follow on from. I made a mistake earlier with the Ben and Jerry's thing.
Okay, so the first point you want to make is... Oh, hang on a second. Your first point you want to make is...
My name's David Babcock, and I got Hoover stuck on my knob.
Okay, and what's the second point you want to make? What's the second point you'd like to make, caller?
My name's David Babcock, and I got Hoover stuck on my knob.
Okay, so that's the 2 points, is it?
I've got a very
Thanks very much for calling. Let's go to line 7. 7, you're on the wireless.
Sorry, it's me again.
Hello, mate.
Sorry, I've got a mouthful of pasta.
You really are living La Vida Loca.
I've got heartburn. I've had heartburn the whole day.
You can get tablets for that, because I used to get terrible heartburn.
Yeah, when I was pregnant, I did.
Zantac.
Drink some milk if you've got nothing in.
What's the difference between a heartburn and, like, an ulcer?
Well, an ulcer is like a permanent thing, and a heartburn is just a temporary thing. Heartburn's just indigestion, isn't it?
Discomfort.
It doesn't feel good.
Well, don't eat pasta. Pasta will make it worse, you muppet.
Oh, well, I'm hungry.
Well, that's
I'm standing in my pants in the kitchen.
Wow, there's an image for the ladies.
She didn't wake up the last time, by the way, and I realised I said a bad word, which I won't say again.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell your mum you said it.
She's dead, actually.
Jesus.
Gosh.
Well, we all take grief in different ways, and yours is to pretend that she's upstairs.
So I was doing that thing where it goes quiet, the Clive Ball thing. But she's dead there. Ooh, rigatoni. It is. It actually hurts staying down. I'm sure it's probably an ulcer. Show it.
Yes, I've been on match of the day because I got very big short.
I know I don't get the reference, Ian. I don't get the reference. I don't get it. Am I on still? Let me relax. For a heartburn?
There we go, no idea what's going on there. Let's go to line 5. 5, you're on the wireless.
Oh, hi Ian and Catherine, how are you?
Good, thank you. Is this Angela?
It's yeah, I'm alright. It's me, yeah. You chat as you do.
Don't I just, Angela?
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, I just woke up. I've enrolled some courses I have this week.
Hey, wicked, nice one. What courses are you doing?
I'll go do some embroidery, a hand one, and some crocheting.
Some what? Crocheting?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
I'd had to do it, but all that fresh air and knackers you out, doesn't it?
I wouldn't know. I haven't been in fresh air since 1983.
I slept all night. Yeah, and me.
Saying that though, I booked a week off in October because I'm knackered. And I might do what I did last time and just go and rent a cottage in Wales somewhere. Although I'm thinking maybe not Wales, but I want to go and rent a cottage and go out for long walks and write and watch movies and read books. That's what I want to do.
Good. You deserve it.
Yeah,
What week in October?
I don't know. I think it's the first week of October. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's my birthday on the 23rd.
Oh, I'll be around for that, baby. You try and keep me away.
Okay. And have a nice evening, mate.
Thank you very much indeed. This is a radio lock-in. If you've just tuned in, this is live. It's 1:32. There's no adverts. There's no format now. It's kind of just an extra bit of the show. It's only the second time we've ever done it, and we're getting loads of phone calls. How many phone calls have we had so far?
Bajillion.
Yeah, we go. A bajillion. Let's go to line 3. 3, you're on the wireless.
It's me again. What happens if it crawls in my mouth while I'm asleep?
Sorry?
What happens if it crawls into my mouth while I go to sleep?
Well, then it will lay spider eggs in your mouth, and then you'll wake up, and as you open your mouth to brush your teeth, 1,000,000 spiders will come out of you, like in Charlotte's Web.
And they'll think that you're their dad.
So you better get on those spider-making skills.
10.
That's 10 more than Julia Hartley-Brewer's ever had on her show.
That was 10 in the last 33 minutes.
Cupboards, back to this story. Cupboards were broken glasses. Cupboards were broken.
Comma.
Glasses, because I've turned the light off to create a vibe. Cupboards were broken. Glasses smashed and worktops melted by cigarettes. Walls and carpets were stained with blood after a fight broke out. Ailem's passport and 10-year Met Police Service medal were stolen. Oh, and this is the worst one, I think. Her 3-year-old son's clothes were left covered in vomit.
Oh, that's terrible.
She rang 999, but police told her to bag evidence and take swabs herself. She chased off the revellers with mum, AC, 51. Ailem is staying with AC as her own £400,000 home in Buckhurst Hill, Essex, needs thousands spent on repairs. She said they were animals, and it makes me sick that the police wouldn't come. I've not heard of this booking.com, but I think there are more of these places than things like Airbnb than perhaps we can even begin to know. 0344 499 1000 calls straight to air, guys. Calls straight to air. We'll do this for a little bit longer. I'm enjoying this. I do like having this freedom where it has been we've had a really good run of shows the last couple of weeks. I do find that when I'm stressed and anxious and worried about my life collapsing around me as it is, that those are generally the best shows. I don't, this weird perverse thing that when everything is going to cock in my life, those are the best shows. But, what lovely freedom to be able to go, the show's going really well. Let's do another half an hour or so and see where we get to. I like that. Here we go. Oh, no, there's another story in here. It's a little bit. Oh, here we go. This is a good story. It's sick or treat. Jihadi bomber and Gestapo outfits ready for Halloween. Now.
And so it begins again.
When did we become funny about people dressing up as Nazis? It's always been a great British tradition for people to dress up as Nazis and lampoon them. Not to dress up and Sieg Heil and be obnoxious, but, Peter Sellers, it's always been a comic British thing that we've done, is to dress up as Hitler, to dress up as him, dress up as these horrible, horrible, hideous people from World War II, because... well, we bloody well beat them, and I mean that slightly with my tongue in cheek, but also, historically we did. And it's our way of we're not laughing at the death camps. We're not laughing at the Holocaust. We're laughing at the fact that World War II was bloody horrible and miserable. But you know what? We won, and it's probably the only just war in the last few hundred years, isn't it?
Well, laughing at them was kind of taking some power back, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's why we call them Jerrys. Hitler has only got one ball, the other is in the Albert Hall. Here's the thing, Hitler had 2 testicles, but it was a great thing to joke he only had 1 testicle. Yeah. So I don't quite understand. understand. I know this is on the back of the Paul Hollywood thing, but I don't quite get it.
But the other thing is, right, it's a distraction because at this point there are actual Nazis.
Yep.
Actual Nazis, I think, are the problem.
The jihadi bomber outfit. I'm going to say it's a funny outfit, right? And I'm not in any way saying that those guys are funny.
But at this point,
I would.
It's too soon.
And I'm not suggesting necessarily that I think it's appropriate for people dressed like this. I'm just saying from this picture, that outfit makes me laugh. I will describe it to you. So it's a guy. It's a white guy, and he's got a brown wig and a very, very long brown beard that comes to sort of halfway down his chest. He's wearing sort of. It's a weird sort of suit. It's a weird sort of suit, and he's holding 3 sticks of obviously cardboard dynamite. I mean, it's not the greatest suit in the world, but it looks funny. Would it be appropriate to dress up in it? I don't know. That's not my call. I wouldn't. Well, fancy dress firms are selling Taliban bomber outfits for Halloween just months after the Manchester Arena blast horror. I get why that's a.
I think it is a bit soon.
Yeah. Okay. Well, a bit soon. I don't know if a bit soon is the right word. While
they're still blowing people up, I don't think we can laugh about it.
But I don't think that's laughing. That's not laughing at Manchester. That isn't laughing at Manchester.
No,
that surely. Okay. I'm not saying this is necessarily what I think, but isn't that the same thing as laugh? Is it? How is it different? And I'm saying this because I think there might be a difference, but I don't know what it is. How is it different mocking Muslim extremists by dressing up in a silly, over-the-top costume? How is that different from dressing up as a Nazi?
Is it because there's a racial thing in there? It's a white guy dressed up as a Muslim.
You get white Muslims?
Yeah, you're right.
And the Islamic extremism
is like an Afghan.
Yeah, but then that outfit is like a German. You know, it's not. I don't think it's a racial thing. I don't think it's a racial thing.
I don't know. I don't know why. Then it just makes me feel. Yeah, does it make you?
Come on, if we were at BBC Three Counties and Tony came into work dressed like that one day, you'd laugh, wouldn't you?
No.
Would you not? Oh, yes, you would. I don't know. Full costumes, complete with beige tunic. 0344 499 1000. By the way, come and get it while it's hot. Full costumes, complete with beige tunic, dark brown waistcoat, bushy beard and fake bomb are being offered for $32.99. I remember me and my mate Mackenzie made a fake bomb when we were in Edinburgh once, just for the craft of making a fake bomb. It looked good. Hello, is there someone there?
Hello, Ian.
Hello, caller.
Yo, Kath.
Yeah.
Oh, dearie me. I think he wants to talk to you, not me.
Who's that?
Andrew. Anyway, you've had 2 great days of playing Hashtag It.
Yes.
Have you found a place to play hide and seek there?
We haven't found a venue for hide and seek yet, and I'll be honest, I haven't really been looking because there's so much other stuff going on at the moment. But do you know what? This weekend I'll start having a little sniff around, and remind me next week, Andrew, and I'll mention it on the show because it would be great to find a place to play hide and seek.
We could do with a Halloweeny type place as well, couldn't we?
Yeah, somewhere ghosty or something.
Spooky. And not full of paranormal investigators.
Oh God, they're such knobs.
No, don't get bad cooking involved.
No, well, he's the best of a bad bunch, I think. I don't have much time for paranormal investigators.
He'll bring his organ along and start playing stuff.
Yep, that's going to happen. That is going to happen. Let's go to line 3. 3, you're on the wireless.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 line 3.
Yeah, all right, Ian. This is no ads and Ian, Lee and Kath. This is like paradise. It's brilliant.
Well, welcome to paradise, my friend. I'm afraid we don't have 71 virgins for you to make love to. All we've got are these box of tissues.
That is a shame. In fact, I was thinking, because you were just talking about dressing as Nazis and all that, that Russell Brand got the sack, didn't he, for dressing as Bin Laden.
He did, but he was also, wasn't he high on heroin at the same time?
Yeah, and I think it was also the day after 9/11.
Wasn't it after 9/11? He was on heroin, he dressed as Bin Laden, and do I remember this correctly? Didn't he get his willy out as well?
Yeah, I think he did.
Oh, I don't think so, no.
It was quite a lot of things going on in once. Yeah.
Well, no, I think that he got his willy out on that demo.
Yeah, he did. He stood on top of the camera van, didn't he, and got his pecker out.
Yeah, I think that's on YouTube. Russell's greatest hits. Yeah. But on the day after 9/11, I think he was high on heroin, but he just dressed as Bin Laden, and he got the sack for that, not for being on heroin.
No.
Because I think they probably expected that by then.
Hoping to get Russell Brand on the show at some point because he's got a new book out.
You need to read his book first.
Well, I've got to I'm reading the Loudon Wainwright book first. Then it's Rufus. Then it's Russell. So this weekend I'm planning to get my head down and read those books. So hopefully Loudon Wainwright, and Russell Brand coming on the show. Yeah. That's the plan.
Be brilliant. Yeah, actually, his other two books are very good. You know, because I think people put off them because they're called Bookie Wookie or whatever.
Yeah.
But I personally thought they were excellent books. And
I enjoyed him.
I like Russell Brand. I don't find him hilarious, but I like him and I like what he does and I like the fact that he's unique and individual. And I met him once, years and years ago, before he became the Russell Brand, and he was very, very polite to me. And I always remember that. When someone doesn't need to be, he was very, very polite to me.
He's one of those people who I'm glad they're around because they just make things more interesting.
Yeah, I think he's a good lad.
I think he's actually much better when you see him being interviewed than when he does his stand-up. That's my own, I think so. Just like, the tremendous charisma and articulacy comes across. And I think there's a thing in this country that often people don't like people that are very articulate. Stephen Fry said something like, Will... who's that writer? Will
Self?
Will Self, yeah. He said something like that often people who are very articulate are sort of frowned on because there's an anti-intellectual kind of thing in Britain. Whereas in America, those kind of people are celebrated.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's still a feeling in this country that if you get to a certain level, you become a smart arse.
Yeah, it's a shame, really.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Well, I was thinking about, I'm normally against capital punishment, but those phone-ups that wouldn't let Peter Cook do his character.
Oh, God.
I'd have it for them. I mean, isn't that terrible?
Jürgen the German, that would have been just marvellous. Absolutely marvellous.
I mean, they're, again, the greatest comic brain, maybe for 100 years or something. And some phone-up,
But fair play. I mean, he was wasting his talent. Phoning up Clive Ball, which is great. And I'm glad that they did, when he could have been, doing such wonderful things. It's so frustrating when you see someone as talented as that who just falls into the traps of drinking and drugging and losing I think he lost a lot of self-confidence. He certainly lost his impetus. He had no reason. He's consumed by bitterness about Dudley Moore going off, and because he was the good look. You see Peter Cook in 66, 67.
He was very handsome.
He was the handsome, good-looking guy that was going to be a movie star, and then he made Bedazzled that no one watched, and then he made The Rise and Rise of Michael Rimmel, which is unwatchable. It's terrible, and that was it. That was his movie career over. And whereas Dudley Moore, the short little fellow who had a club foot, suddenly became an actual Hollywood sex symbol.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Peter Cook was the greater comic brain, but Dudley was very, in his own way.
Oh, he was a brilliant musician. Brilliant musician, and he was a brilliant comedian.
Very charming.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to be said for being very charming.
Yeah, I mean, they put him in not very good Hollywood films, but he made the most of it. He was good.
Yeah.
Like Arthur and that. I don't think it's a great film, or 10, but Dudley was... he himself was very charismatic and all that in it. But yeah, I think you're right. It sort of ruined Peter, him getting all that success. I mean, I heard a quote like, someone said that if you met Peter Cook at it was Cambridge, wasn't it? At Cambridge when he was a kid, you couldn't help but fall in love with him. He was just like, the most charismatic person ever.
He's a famous line, of course. Peter Cook, do you have any regrets? Yes, I regret saving David Frost when he was drowning. It's a great... it's a great... He did say he saved his life. Listen, thank you very much for that. 0344 499 1000. It's a radio lock-in. #radio lock-in. Online firm mad about costumes is also offering a black Nazi Gestapo-style uniform with matching peaked cap and a red armband. What do you reckon to that, line 2?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, very good. Line 2, how are you?
Amazing.
Why are you...
About the Nazis...
Yeah, hang on a second, Harry. When is the Sabbath?
Sabbath is on Saturday.
Oh, okay. I thought you weren't allowed to phone us on a Friday.
Friday night?
Friday night.
Yeah, but it's Friday... Oh, it starts Friday night. So, but even though it's Friday now...
It's sunset.
Oh, okay. All right. In that case, fill your boots, buddy. What you got for us?
I think a bit off the mark about the Nazis. I think what they're upset about is the principle of dressing up as someone who did terrible things.
Right. Okay, let's clarify. Who are they?
The Nazis.
No, you said what they are upset about. Who are they?
The media.
Be more. I don't like that term because it doesn't mean anything. Be more specific. You mean this newspaper article?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So I don't really hold of anything in particular about this story, but I just think that it's not that we shouldn't dress up like them because stuff happened because of them. It's just what they've done. For example, if someone's little kid dressed up as heaven forbid, but a serial raper.
What?
I don't think everyone would be very happy about that.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen, I'm going to say it, there's a show called Wonder Shows 'Em, which is billed as a children's television show. It's not, it's an adult show. But it's like Sesame Street done for adults. And there is a very funny clip, and it's a kid, and he's about 10, and he's dressed up as Hitler doing vox pops. And I know. It is very, very funny. It's funny, and it made me laugh a lot. I can't remember actually what's said in it, but it made me laugh a lot. And we do have a history in this country of lampooning the Nazis. Allo, for instance, which is what Paul Holly was dressing up as. He wasn't dressing up as a Nazi. He was dressing up as a Nazi character from Allo. Allo, it's English people dressing up as Nazis and doing the typical German accents. We have ways of making you talk. Doing that.
To ridicule them.
Yeah, it's pantomime. We make them pantomime.
Right, so taking the mickey out of them, no problem with that. Go full ahead.
Right.
But if someone can dress up as someone else in an admiring way, and that could be a problem.
Oh, in an admiring way. I would have a problem with someone dressing up as a Nazi because they agreed with their horrific politics and their the extermination policies that they had.
Right.
I would certainly have a problem with that. But but going to a fancy dress party, doesn't that, dressed as a Nazi, doesn't that fall more into the allo side of things as opposed to the Hitler Youth side of things?
Yeah, I suppose so.
I don't know the answer. I'm not saying this. I'm just putting this forward as an argument. I don't know the answer.
Right. I understand. I just think it's very... for kids, it's very hard to distinguish between the two reasons why someone might dress up as a Nazi. So
but why? I don't know who's dressing children up as Nazis.
Let's say a kid would on Halloween. Would you be happy with that?
Yeah, that would make me slightly uncomfortable. Yes.
Well, you know why?
Why?
Because when kids dress up, it is because they're pretending to be that person. They're not taking the mickey, are they? Kids don't really get that.
They can't tell the difference.
My head is exploding with so many ramifications and thoughts.
When my children dress up, they are being that person.
Yes, and they wouldn't know the...
They wouldn't be able to...
So what age, then, are we allowed to dress up as Nazis? 21? I don't know. That's kind of the next question, isn't it?
It's teenage.
18, 21?
It's teenage, isn't it? Where you can get that kind of ridiculing thing.
You can understand at 10 years old what happened in Auschwitz.
I don't think you can understand the enormity. I don't think a 10-year-old can understand the enormity.
I don't think we can. I mean, I went there twice, and
I think we would have a better grasp of the enormity. I think myself, as a 44-year-old man who has seen life and death, would have a better grasp of it than a 10-year-old child. But yes, you're right. I probably still would not be able to completely.
They would still understand that the Nazis did a lot of bad things.
Yeah. But isn't it all about context and who your audience is?
Right, yeah, it's true. Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't go down to a synagogue wearing it.
No.
But if you're having a low party or a...
Right.
You know...
I wouldn't dress up as a Nazi, full stop.
No, I would, but... It's an interesting one, isn't it?
But if someone was, and they were taking the mickey out of them and I was enjoying myself, I doubt I would say anything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't look up to them, but...
A jihadist?
No, definitely not.
No, I'm not asking if you are. Would you dress up? Would you be offended if you saw someone dressed up as a jihadist? I mean, you would have to be pretty ripe to do it at the moment when you know the terror alert is so high. But if you saw someone dressed up as a jihadist, would you be offended?
It depends in what context. They're
going trick or treating and they're off to a Halloween party.
I would rather not.
All right, well, another funny thing I've seen, and I can't remember the context, right? Frank Skinner, 20 years ago, no, not even 20 years ago, after 9/11, I'm sure, it was after 9/11, on his chat show, did like a spoof of You've Been Framed, and it was him dressed as Osama bin Laden, falling down some stairs or something. It was after 9/11, and everyone laughing hysterically. Is that offensive? Osama bin Laden?
To Muslims, yes, maybe, whatever.
No, I don't think it would be offensive.
Other people, no, definitely not.
Monty Python, you're right. Lane is reminding me Monty Python did a lot of Hitler stuff. A lot of dressing up as Nazis.
They were the baddies of that. Those kids used to play war games, didn't they?
Yeah, I used to play war games against the Germans. You know, I was born in 1973 and I was doing it.
Yeah.
Harry, thanks for that. I'm glad you've started calling us again, mate. I enjoy your calls.
That's cool.
Take care, man. Speak to you next week.
Enjoy talking to you. See ya.
Bye-bye. We started off live. We got a bit heavy, and I think we're allowed to do that. I like these lock-ins. Maybe next week. I know it's tricky because you've got to get up to take the kids to school and stuff. I haven't got to do it tomorrow.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm going to be knackered anyway.
No, but I'm just thinking, what I'd really like to do. I'd really like to do one that's a couple of hours at some point. But I'm just aware that it does make, because you've got further to go than me, and you've got to take the kids to school. I've not had to take the kids to school this week, and I'll be home in an hour. So you know, it would be. But I want to do one all through the night, is what I'm saying.
I've got a feeling that they're keeping over at their grandparents' one night next week.
Okay, then maybe we do one all through the night. Sam's face is going, oh, Jesus God, really? You've got to be kidding me. Dear listener, I think we've come to a natural end. This feels a much better way of ending the show. By coincidence, it's 54 minutes again, which I think it was on Tuesday. This was a much better way of ending the show. It just feels that we've kind of, like a boat landing on the beach. It just feels like we've come to a natural conclusion. We're not going to do this every night. We're not even going to do this every week. We're going to do it when it feels right to do it. We're going to keep the show going on a bit longer. And for that, I'm grateful that Sam is sticking around and that Kath is sticking around, and that we've had so many callers and you chose to stick around. We'll be back tonight at 10 o'clock. As per usual. Don't forget to download the podcasts and listen to this. This is a really clunky switch. I'm going to click my fingers and we're going to go straight to Talk Sport. Are you ready? Are you ready?